3. Why Cheeto Santino? Why that? Why that?
I'll tell you, when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was playing this basketball league with these kids from East LA. It was like the only connection I had in LA with these like couple of kids that I knew from Long Beach. And we would go play ball in this league, and then afterwards we'd go to a bar and just get shit-faced, like just blacked out of our mind, 22, like every dime we had was going to booze and partying. So we were partying, and I'm wearing basketball shorts like white people do when you play basketball, and all my Mexican friends, you know, they wear like whatever they had on the floor that morning. It was like jeans and, you know, whatever. There was never basketball shoes for them. And we're sitting there drinking, and this dude Pavo, his buddy of mine, he looks down at my legs and he goes, "Dog, I gotta fucking ask you a question, player. Like, did you have fucking orange leg hairs, dog?" I was like, "Dude, I've known you for years. You've never seen that?" He's like, "No, dog, it's so gross, dog. It's nasty to look at, bro. It's kind of like if you ate a bag of Cheetos and you wiped the finger dust all over your fucking legs and you got Cheeto legs, dog." So the Cheeto thing. So then all these dudes, all these homies were always like, "Cheeto." It was just stuck so hard that when I got Twitter and Instagram, I was like, I have to have Cheeto as my shit. Like I have to embrace the Cheeto.
Embracing the
I
Cheeto.
embrace the Cheeto, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
this is a good time for orange-haired comedians. The two of the greatest of all time have orange hair.
It's wild because I've always been such a massive fan of Burr. I mean, I can't preach him enough. I think I do it. I dick ride him so hard. I think many people I talk to are like, "All right, dude, enough." Like I get it, you like him, but I do, man. I've always loved him, and Louis has changed the game in a totally different way.
They're both two of the best of all time.
Shocking.
Burr right now he's doing something real special.
Yep.
And he's also a man's man, an unapologetic man.
Dude, thank God.
Oh, there's so few.
Yeah.
It's such a hard time to be a guy.
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
And
Shame on
you. If you say that, people are like, "Boo."
Yeah, I know.
Boo, it's so hard to be a man with all your male privilege. Boo.
Yeah.
Oh, cisgendered males complaining about how hard it is.
I said
being
that, yeah.
judged, folks.
I'm
being
a
judged
white,
harshly.
White straight male. I'm the literal enemy, public enemy number 1 right now.
Yeah.
I walk around, you are the enemy. You're automatically a rapist and a misogynist and an egomaniacal, money-hungry, driven, bad human being. It's so fucked up.
This is how ridiculous it's gotten. There was an article, "Oh, they're still complaining about being a man." There's an article that I just read that was advocating that women should never go to prison. It was like, let's stop putting women in prison. Yeah, see if you can find that. It was the idea was that women are suppressed and they already represent such a significantly small portion of the U.S. population that really...
So therefore, heinous crimes don't deserve the same punishment as other people that have heinous crimes.
Heinous crime. The number of women hitmen would just go through the fucking roof, right?
Oh my God.
People if they couldn't be arrested.
Yeah. Oh my God. So much domestic. Well, that's like saying, okay, so if that's what the article's trying to say, then say any other repressed group in society, then minorities can't go to prison anymore.
Well,
right? That's the same logic.
They represent a much larger percentage, though. So the thing that she's saying about women is there's so few women in prison already.
Yeah.
And women are, like, a lot of their behavior is due to the fact they've been suppressed by men.
Okay. Sure.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's just the idea of us being on two teams is so crazy.
Yeah.
The penis team and the vagina team.
Yep.
Like, it's that simple?
Shirts and skins.
It's that simple.
Right, that's
like
it.
You're all people on your side are good, all people on our side are bad. Do you know how fucking crazy that is?
It's insane. That's what I said, like, not to sound like I'm plugging my special, but in my special, I talk about, I was shot at in Chicago, where I'm from, and at the time, there was a lot going on in Chicago, as there always is, a lot of cop shootings, and I think there's an immediate uproar of like, fuck cops. And I hate that because I have cops in my family. And you can't just blanket statement an entire thing. Just like you can't blanket an entire race of people, sex class of people and say, you're all the same. That's the same thing as saying, like, every cop is a bad person. Like, are you out of your fucking mind?
I couldn't agree more.
There's millions of police officers that are great people. You happen to hear stories about bad humans. That happens in any industry.
Right. And honestly, if you look at it statistically, like the number of bad cops versus the number of cops, and then you have to break down the number of interactions cops have with people. It's stunning.
Have you met people? They're awful. People are fucking awful. Can you imagine every day?
But imagine how awful they are if you are a professional enemy.
Yep.
And they know that you're just a person, just like them. So you're pulling this guy over. This guy's done a crime. You know he's going to lie to you.
Right.
You're the enemy. And you don't even know this fucking guy. Right. You don't even know him. You don't even have a real beef with him. But his whole life is on the line right now in this altercation. You never know if he's going to shoot you. You never know. There's so many videos online. There's one of the most terrifying videos of this cop pulling this guy over. And the guy was some Vietnam veteran who's a real fucking killer. And he wound up killing the cop. And they show him killing the cop on the security camera. The guy's trying to give this guy all the room in the world. He's like, sir, please get back in your car. Sir, please get back. Sir, put your hands down, sir.
Right.
Sir, put the gun down, sir. And then it gets to he's trying so hard not to be a cunt. And this guy shoots him and kills him. And you're telling me that other cops haven't seen that video?
Yeah.
You don't think that they're terrified that they're going to be the next guy that's on some fucking YouTube clip that two comics are talking about on a podcast? Because it could happen.
Easy.
Every time you pull a guy over, your life's on the line. And the stress of that is ungodly. And we expect them to manage it like robots. We expect them to be like no person we've ever met.
Right.
Where they just, no problem, no stress. If you're a fucking accountant, what is the worst shit that can happen to you once you're in the office?
The printer breaks.
It's almost nothing is life-threatening.
No. Microsoft Excel crashed this morning. Everyone's going crazy in fucking accounting.
If you're a beat cop, Jesus Christ.
Well, it's the same way with I know this has been said, but the way we treat veterans and shit, it's like, I grew up with a kid who was a really close friend of mine that killed himself a couple years ago, was a veteran. And I think the expectation of the return to normalcy is not only ridiculous and an insane request, but it's just so illogical that that's not approached. It's like, dude, these people can't come back from any sort of combat and just be pushed back into the real world. Like, well, you're good, right? You're good. Did you turn off the switch when you landed back in the United States?
Yeah,
man, it was just a little toggle in my head, and then I'm good now. I should go get a regular job, I guess.
Yeah, and the lack of responsibility that we have for like taking care of those people.
It's crazy.
The lack of emphasis on psychological recovery, on giving them coping skills.
Mental health, man, that's the biggest issue in the United States. I say that all the time. It's like there's so much lack of help for mental health, dude. You see it so constantly in so many different facets. Now I think it's coming out more because of the internet, because you see violent crimes and you see where mental health has kind of led our country now. There should be a bigger focus on it, dude.
I had a psychiatrist on the podcast yesterday, Kelly Brogan, who she wrote a book called, what is it called? A Mind of Your Own? A Mind of Your Own is the name of her book. That. We talked all about these psychiatric drugs and when they prescribe them and why they prescribe them, what are the side effects and how easily they prescribe them.
Right.
And how so many of these same exact symptoms can be cured by exercise and diet, and they don't even advocate that.
Right.
And she's talking about like how incredible it is, like her coming from a background of psychiatry, being an MD, going through the whole training thing, writing a book about it, and you realize like, oh my God, they're just doping people up.
Yep. Because it's easy fix, man. They want short-term solution as fast as you can. Working out and exercise sounds like a marathon.
Yeah.
And they're like, give me the 40-yard dash. Like, what can we do to get them in the 40-yard dash? And they're like, here, take this pill, and that changes everything.
Just the disassociative quality of these pills are so dangerous, and we just hand them out. Not we, obviously. You and I aren't involved, but someone's out there
not as far as the audience
them.
knows. We don't do it.
Can you imagine? Imagine if you're a guy right now working for a pharmaceutical company and every day you read the news, you see some fucking mass killing, you go, please don't let him be on our shit.
Right.
Please don't let him be on our shit.
Pfizer every day is like rolling the dice online, hoping it wasn't some guy on one of their drugs.
She was talking about how the numbers of people that commit these mass killings that are on drugs. They're on psychoactive, some sort of psychopharmaceutical drugs. She's like, it's crazy. It's like 100%.
Yeah. Well, let me give you something. This is how powerful that world is. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm with you, so I don't really give a shit. But on the only one thing I wasn't allowed to talk about, or not talk about, but specifically say on my Showtime special was about Accutane. I went on Accutane when I was a kid. Do you know this drug? Do you know what Accutane?
Sit drug?
Yeah, it is. But it's unbelievably unstable. Okay, it's caused a lot of suicide. People got real fucked up from it. So it caused a lot of chemical and mental reaction that they didn't anticipate for youthful, kids under 18 with underdeveloped brains. You used to have to sign a form to say, I can die from this medication. There's a risk of death. That was a real thing for pimple medication. But on the special, Showtime's lawyers called us and said, I can mention the company, but I can't say the joke. I said, if you don't know what Accutane was, it was developed in the 80s and the 90s to kill acne and then people. And they were like, we can't say that. I was like, why can't I say that's a fact? And the guys, the lawyers were like, they're a massive sponsor.
Jesus Christ.
That was the control. They were like,
First of all, I thought Showtime didn't have any sponsors.
well, CBS is their CBS is their mothership.
It's Viacom, right?
But that
it's
was the
also
only
Spike
thing,
TV, right?
Yeah, that was the only thing that they were like, we just can't say that, which I respectively removed because I was like, I didn't need that piece anyway. But I was like, that's so weird that they are that meticulous about this one small thing, because they wanted to cover up the fact that people used to die from it. People wanted kids who are the most insecure point of your life. You got shit all over your face, and you just want to fix it with a pill because you want to feel better about your life. You're already so vulnerable and ugly and weird, and they're willing to risk their life for it, but this company won't recognize that was a thing.
What numbers of people died off of it?
I mean, there was at one point, I remember when I was in high school, there was like 3 kids. It made national news because it was like 3 kids in a row committed suicide. It was like consecutive, like 3 young kids, boom, 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 that committed suicide. And of course, you can't just attribute it to one thing. I'm not saying you can point a finger and say that's what it was, but there's enough evidence surrounding things like that made the company put more legal action behind release forms for when you take the drug. Nowadays, I think there's different levels of it you can't give to people under 16 or a certain age because of the strength of the medication.
Jesus.
Yeah. Because all I wanted to do was not be ugly anymore.
So what did it do to you?
You know what's funny, man? It cleared my skin up, and I never had to take it ever again. I know people that did it 2 or 3 times, and it gave me a lot of joy because I felt fine again. I had such bad acne. I say I had such bad acne when I was a kid that it made me not believe in God. I was like, no, nothing exists. I'm alone on this earth. And I felt like I was the ugliest person to ever walk the planet because you felt so this thing, it fixed me, so to speak. It made me feel like everything was good again, which is so gross, but that's how like shallow we are as kids because you're just like so vulnerable around your peers. You're like, I just want to be normal.
When you're like 16 years old, if you have a horrible acne attack, it fucks your head up.
Fucks you up.
You feel so weak.
Yeah.
It's like you're so at the mercy of this. I mean, obviously, poor white cisgendered man worried about zits.
No, you know what?
I understand there's worse problems.
Look at that. There.
What is this? This is a list of the side effects of this stuff? Miscarriages, birth defects, increased internal skull pressure, bone mineral density, depression, psychosis, suicide, aggressive or violent behaviors, acute pancreatitis, unknown, in quotes, cardiovascular consequences, deafness, hepatitis, bowel disease, excessive bone growth, night blindness, and sight loss.
You can just lose your vision. Well, then, you lose your vision, you can't see your acne anymore, so I guess that's kind of the caveat.
Look at the list of birth defects. Scroll back down again, please. Look at this part where it says the list of birth defects. No, up a little. There you go.
Genetic name concentration.
Facial and nerve system deformities, mental retardations. Patients must be on birth control when using it.
Yep.
Because you get miscarriages. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Isn't that crazy?
Patients must be on birth control if you want to use this medication. You can't get pregnant. Your baby will come out a mutant.
A Jersey man with $25 million verdict after he alleged that Roche, the acne drug Accutane, gave him inflammatory bowel disorder that required the removal of his colon.
Oh my God.
They had to rip out his fucking colon.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. You only get $25 million if they take out your colon.
That's it, dude. You lose your butt, you get 25.
You get one payday from The Rock. Like one of his big movies.
Maybe.
And they take your colon.
He might get more than that.
He might get more than that for like Baywatch.
That's what they write in the memo of the check. For colon.
Fuck,
For
man.
colon. For anus.
So, I worked at a hamburger place, a place called Newport Creamery when I was in high school, and I got graduated from dishwasher to working at the grill.
That's a big deal.
It was a big deal. But the problem was working at the grill, you get fucking crazy zits, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just grease in your face all day. Like, literally, you get out of there, your face is covered in grease.
How old were you?
15. I guess I was 16 when I started working there. 15 or 16, somewhere in there.
My first job was McDonald's. So, of course, I was really aiding in the shit face of my life. I was like, let me eat shit food, be around grease all day.
All day.
Oh, all day long.
Those friolators, like that shit's in the air,
Oh,
man.
it's gross,
Like
dude.
you have a thin film of it on your face
It's
when
coated.
you leave. Yeah, and my zits got out of control. And I remember there's this girl, this really cute girl that worked there, and she grabbed my face once. Like she just being nice to me. She goes, "You're so cute." She grabbed my face, and all I could think of was, "Oh my God, she just touched my zits." I'm so disgusting. I think about it to this day.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It sticks with you, dude.
Dude, it was so devastating at the time. I'm like, because I was attracted to her. She's very cute, but I always felt like she was out of my league. And then all of a sudden she's touching my face. I'm like, God damn it, she's touching my zits.
I remember we were going to like a family function of some kind, and I had obviously just picked at something on my stupid face.
Ugh.
And my little brat sister was like, "You're bleeding." It's like out of my face. I was like, "I'm a mutant." You feel like you're like blanket me and hide me in the back of the car.
The only thing what changed it for me was exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once I started like really heavily working out, it kind of went away. Like towards like 17 and 18. By the time I was 18, it stopped. But man,
before that,
15 and 16, it was bad.
Well, I played sports all through high school, so that was an issue because it was always sweating and it was making it exacerbate it, made it worse. And then in college, all I did was work out and didn't play a lot of active sports. So by that time, it was all cleared up and I was fine. But in high school, it was just like I did everything to make it worse, like everything possible.
Everybody would get a sunburn to kill their zits. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, look at me.
I
can't.
Kill your zits in the sun.
I would get cancer and get worse skin.
That's like in the summertime. I remember that was like, oh boy, it's gonna be sunny out. This is great. I can cook off some of these zits.
Gotta sun off these zits.
Yeah, man. I had a buddy of mine growing up. I mean, I cannot complain because my buddy had it real bad.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that was like his everything. His neck was covered in pock marks. His face was covered in pock marks. And the poor kid was like barely hanging on, right? He's like 15, 16 years old. You know, it wasn't like genetically gifted to begin with. And then all of a sudden he gets hit with this hailstorm on his face. I mean, all of his skin was just fucked. And there's nothing they can do about it once that happens.
No, unless you want to lose your colon. Unless you want to take a pill.
But it's not even that. It doesn't smooth your face out.
No.
The only way they can smooth your face out once you have those scars all over the place is they have to fucking sandblast you.
Yeah, surgery. Yeah, it's crazy.
And it doesn't look good. No.
No, you can tell.
It's fucked.
I'm lucky that it worked because I had friends where it didn't work and it was like, oh God,
so like if you were my friend who just got hit with the hailstorm, like you would think like maybe for that guy it'd be worth taking a chance at suicide.
Yeah, why not?
So crazy.
If you're gonna do it cool. You know, you never know.
You never know, right? You're just rolling the dice. You might be that one out of 1,000 people that goes completely fucking insane once that stuff hits your system.
Goes blind, insane.
Shits yourself.
Skull pressure was the craziest thing.
Bone growth, weird bones are gonna grow horns.
You see Mike's second chin? You just have another fucking chin start to grow below.
You ever go to this lady, Dr. Pimple Popper on Instagram?
No.
Oh,
Does she just pop huge zits?
I'm addicted to this lady's Instagram page to the point where it almost seems like she's sponsoring this show. I tell everybody about her. You go to her page and every day she's cutting open cysts and popping zits. And
I can't.
Dude, you can. She's got millions of, she's got 2.4 million. Okay.
2.4 million humans watch this all the time, constantly.
Dude, I watch it. But all of her stuff is these giant zits. Go to that lower right-hand corner one.
Joe,
click on that. Look at this. She's just cutting open these cysts, and it's so oddly addictive, man. She's got like this little circular razor blade tool. It takes like a circular chunk of meat out of your neck, so that she can now push all the pus out. Oh my God! Isn't this insane?
Fuck!
Like people's bodies and these errors, these like skin errors that we have. Like how many of those do we have inside of ourselves? You know, like when you hear about people having cysts and liver cysts and shit like that inside of you like this.
Dude, I have a cyst
Jesus.
When I was in college, I can't look away. It's fucking insane.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I'm in the sunken place, dude. I can't fucking look away at this shit.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
When I was in college, dude, I thought I had nut cancer. I thought I had testicle cancer, and I went into a doctor. This is insane. I went into a campus doctor, and he feels around in my nuts, and he feels the bump. And I cried for like 2 days. I started sucking my cock. And he was like, I'm going to get that nut. I'm going to get that nut.
There's only one way to get it out.
He said to me, this is no shit. He goes, it's a buildup of semen. A fucking doctor said that. And I was like, really? He goes, do you have a hot tub? I was like, there's one in my complex.
Cook your cum.
He goes, go in there and jerk off in the hot tub.
He told you to jerk off in the hot tub.
I swear to God,
Did he tell
on my
you what
fucking
time?
life.
At 10:01. And I don't want you to look up.
He said, well, he's at military time, actually. Yeah, he said. He said, at 2022, I want you to come.
There's something extra creepy
Close
about
your
using
eyes.
military time. If you're talking about a guy jerking off and you're telling him how to do it during military time.
2022, I want to watch. No, dude, this guy said it was a fucking... I'm not kidding. He said it was a buildup of semen. My dad flew into town because he was concerned because I was like... Dude, it freaked me out. I was like, I have this thing on my nut. We went to the best doctor we could find. And the guy was like, I should fucking have this other dude, like, get his medical license removed. He's like, this buildup of semen is completely incorrect. This is a cyst on your testicle. It's not... He's like, it's benign. You're fine, but... The fact that someone on campus, like a campus doctor, told you that's a real medical professional.
He was
like,
probably high out of his mind.
Baked out of his fucking... I went to Arizona State, so he was fucking lost, yeah. It was just a dude they found that morning at the bus stop.
That doesn't even make sense to me, and I don't have no medical training.
When he said it, I was like, there's no chance. Send in video. That's what it was. He's like, take a video of it.
That's what I want you to do. I want you to take your nuts and hold them over a lamp so I can see through your nuts, and then take as many pictures as you can. No filter.
I'm gonna bring in a couple other boys in here, young boys.
Don't use filters.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that movie Tickled? Have you seen that documentary Tickled?
I have not, but it keeps getting recommended to me.
Bro,
I'm gonna have to watch it.
It's unreal. It blows your fucking mind how these guys were tricked into this. It's as simple as young actors being like, you gotta just make a living. Can you let another guy tickle you on the internet for 5 minutes for $100? And these young kids were like,
dude, I've had friends get hit on by guys during casting sessions.
Like just straightforward. Like if
yeah.
you want to fuck.
Yeah, like I've had friends like literally get propositioned.
I've had a few friends get propositioned by some very famous, very famous people that are like, you come to so and so's house, no one will know, no one will say anything. But in the public eye, people think they're straight.
There's such a leap, man, when you're a dude and you're straight, and you're like, all right, how much money is that really? Like that is the crazy leap. Like I honestly, absolutely, firmly believe that prostitution should be legal. 100%. It doesn't make any sense that you can decide to fuck someone for free, and we all agree that nobody got hurt. But for some reason, there's something wrong with like someone paying you to jerk them off.
Yeah, why? What's the harm?
Cares?
Do you imagine? Do you imagine if fucking Tiger Woods could have had prostitutes, this would have never gotten exposed? Do you think if prostitution was legal and it was kind of not a faux pas thing in society, do you think he would have never had this moment of collapse in his career?
I think it would change the way we look at sex if prostitution was legal. Like it's so illegal, and it's been illegal for so long that if someone, male or female, has someone pay them for sex, you're a whore.
Right. It's a label right away.
But we know for a fact that there's gold diggers. Like, gold diggers are real.
But they're not even hidden. They're blatant.
Blatant.
Yeah, they just say it.
Right.
It's on the internet.
You've seen that. Have you ever seen that Instagram post where there's these really hot like Instagram models, and then it shows a picture in the next box of a bunch of guys that are like in their 60s with giant guts with gray hair on their guts. It's like those Instagram models in Dubai. This is who's paying for those trips.
Precise. Yeah, of course.
Like, we know those people exist, and there's nothing wrong. We don't care. It's like, look at her, she got it, good for her.
That Dan Bilzerian guy, you know him?
Yeah,
that's like his MO.
Well, sort of. He's a good-looking guy too.
Yeah, but these women that are around, he knows what they're around for, and they know what they're around for.
Yeah.
It's a fucking mutual. It's a deal.
I think the best example of it was J. Howard Marshall and Anna Nicole Smith.
Totally.
And Anna Nicole Smith married that 90-year-old dude who was 92, in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
and she was just giant titties and a big ass and just out there.
It was brilliant.
It was amazing. It was amazing because it was so blatant. I had a whole bit about it in my act. There it is, right there.
She set the tone. That's setting the fucking tone.
That's the gold standard of gold diggers.
Right.
And I mean, come on. And he's marrying her there. How is that not prostitution? That's one of the funniest things anybody's ever done.
Go back to that photo. Zoom in on his face. Look at how unhappy he looks. It's remarkable. This guy's so fucking old he can't formulate a smile when he's marrying a woman a quarter his age.
And I think at the time she was a lesbian, so she was just eating pussy and hanging out with him, and she had to do like marital relations with him. And when she would do the marital relations with him, you know, she was like, time to go to work.
What does she got to do? He can't fuck. What does she got to do? Just tug him?
Suck his dick.
Just suck him. Exclusive.
Yeah. Did they have Viagra back then?
No, I don't think so.
I think they did. I think we came up with the timeline for Viagra.
Maybe they came up with it for him.
They had-
It was all his research money. There's got to be a way. I'm that close to marrying Anna Nicole Smith, you piece of shit.
Make something keep my dick hard for an hour and a half.
I've got $10 billion and not a lot of time. I don't want you to listen to me, you son of a bitch. It's
God,
hilarious.
that's so crazy.
I love it. Good for him.
Look at
Fuck
you
yeah.
like my body.
Yeah. Go out with a bang. Or at least an attempt at a bang.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead as fuck.
What did
So
he die
she
of? Happiness?
Died of being old.
Joy? He died of joy. The world blessed him in his final years.
But that's legal. It's totally legal.
Totally.
To marry someone and have sex with them for money. As long as you marry them and then get to steal all their money. It's like a small transaction. Like if he could just pay her.
Yep.
Like for J. Howard Marshall, a multi-billionaire type character, I bet $100,000 is not out of the question.
It's nothing.
One evening for $100,000, it seems like a worthy proposition.
But this is someone told me this recently. We were talking about this. This is amazing. The difference between $1 million and $1 billion. Because I think in America we just kind of like, we don't even think about it. You know,
Right.
you just hear it and you're like, billionaire. Oh, he must be a billionaire. You know, I'm sure Joe Rogan dude's got to be a fucking billionaire, dude. Here's the difference that people don't realize. 1 million seconds is how many days? Would you guess? 1 million seconds.
I've done this before and I always forget it.
Do you know?
1 million
Can you guess?
seconds.
1 million seconds.
30 days.
That's a great guess. Okay.
Is it?
It's 11 days. That's good.
Oh.
Most people are fucking way off. So it's 11 days.
I just
a
took
million.
a chance.
Yeah, that's good. 1 million seconds is 11 days. How many days is 1 billion seconds?
How many?
31 years.
Jesus.
11 days to 31 fucking years.
Jesus.
Look at that. So when
A
someone
trillion seconds is 31,000 years.
when someone tries to fucking say like they understand what a billion is, you're like, you have no fucking idea what a billion is. A billion is so beyond far away.
Now, as far as it's been explained to me, and I've never researched this at all, so I wonder if you could find this out. Someone said to me that when you look at the richest men in the world, like they look at like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and all those
George Soros, all those
billionaire
dudes.
characters, that they're not really the richest men in the world. That the real richest men in the world are these Saudi guys.
Yep.
And a lot of these oil guys, but they're monarchs, and they don't have to disclose their wealth.
They never do. Yeah.
It's not like they're the CEO of a corporation.
No.
They're head of a royal family.
They owe no government any indication of what their earnings are.
So this dude who knows one of those cats was telling me that he's probably a trillionaire.
fuck me.
And I was like, what? I go, that's real? And he goes, yeah. I go, I didn't know there was trillionaires. He goes, it's very likely this guy might have access to $1 trillion.
Because the only thing that we know is our famous billionaires.
Yeah.
We're infatuated with our billionaires that we kind of have as these social icons, you know, like the Zuckerbergs and these guys that are like, they did something that we can recognize. These Saudi families that have had that money for a fucking long time. It's not new money.
No,
this is
it's-
old. They had hundreds of millions 50 years ago.
Right.
So
right.
now it's only accumulated into billions of. I mean, they own. Well, what that guy, the Chinese billionaire that what was his name? He just bought the Basquiat.
Oh, we had it. It's Japanese.
Japanese
Yeah,
for
that
$100
guy.
million.
We're talking about that. Which show was that? It was Bill Burr. Yeah, dude. 110, I think it was.
I mean,
And he owns another one that he got for like 57.
that 57's nothing to him. That's like it's a flick.
Guy's insane. Who's this cat? We're at
1.4 trillion fucking dollars.
Oh my God.
See?
Oh my God. The royal family is worth a staggering 1.4 trillion. Solomon bin Abdulaziz Al
Abdulaziz Al
Saud,
Saud.
pictured, is the current king. Dude, that's balling on a whole new level, son.
That's just new shit.
1.4 trillion. Oh my God. Who is this guy? The
Oh,
Rothschild
the Rothschilds.
families.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's probably a bunch of those little scoundrels running around taking a piece of that pie. But so $1 billion is 1,000 million.
Yep, 1,000
To
million.
700 trillion. Oh! The Rothschilds estimated between 1 billion and 700 trillion. Hey, how about you do a better job? I could do as good a job of estimating as that.
No shit. That's
What
so
number?
far.
Probably a gazillion.
It's like when you ask a kid how much a car is, and they're like, $8, and you're like, yeah, it's like $8. That's how much cars are. $8.
$100?
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
it is a Mercedes, son. How the fuck could they have such terrible like gap in their guesstimate?
Well, that's got to be see those kind of old families that have been around for that long. You know that they hide money.
Yeah,
they don't
sure.
like when they say X amount of dollars. It's because that's what they've been told through so many sources. I used to know that this guy George Soros. Do you know who that is? The guy who broke the Bank of Manhattan.
The name, because everyone brings it up when they talk about like anyone on the right side. Like Alex Jones has said that George Soros is making the marijuana stronger. He's doing it for mind control. I take it once a year. I smoke marijuana to test the efficiency.
I like how he's the gauge. I'm going to do it for America.
Yeah,
I will smoke.
He says he smokes it once a year. He said that during his custody trial.
That's it. That's it.
Just once a year to test.
He has one day.
Its potency. That's George Soros.
George Soros.
He's 86.
I partied with his kid one time. $25.2
billion.
I partied with his kid one time at one of these Hollywood things, and I've never seen someone so. And I'm not gonna say anything negative about him. And I just never seen that kind of money firsthand. I've never known a billionaire. I've never been friends with a billionaire. And this kid was so lucid. It was almost as if he's not living now at all. He's just kind of it's just float. He's so floating. It's like whatever happens, happens. I said, where are you staying while you're here? He's like, with these guys, I guess. I was like, do you have suitcases and shit? You're in town from New York. Like, are you not? He's like, no, I just fucking, I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I guess bounce around a little bit. So it's just like there's no groundedness. When you're that rich, it's almost like, I don't know, I can do anything all the time forever. There's no source of repetitiveness.
Strife. Yeah. I don't think it's a good thing for kids.
It's so bad.
It doesn't seem to work out. I mean, I would think the only way you would get a kid through that is you got to take him to sports or something. You got to get him involved in some adversity.
He's got to lose at something.
Yeah, a lot.
If you lose at shit, you start to understand how human you are when you're like, oh my God, there's so many people better than me at so many fucking things.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because when you're given everything, you never lose. You're never heard no. There's no negative in your life. It's just kind of like, how do you get any sense of fucking, any normalcy or anything grounded in your hands when you're like,
yeah, we need feedback.
Yeah, you need to know that that's not good and that's okay and that's terrible and that's good. You need to know where you land on the spectrum in the social world. That's why so many rich kids are socially so fucking awkward. Because they never got beat up at school. They never got made fun of. It was all fucking flat.
Flat.
It's all flat.
Yeah. You can't have all flat. You don't want to have too many crazy dips.
Yeah, because then you're fucking.
But you definitely don't want flat. Like the worst drive ever is not the longest drive. The worst drive ever is like when you're driving in those roads that people always stop to take album cover pictures in.
Yeah.
Where you just see just flat and nothing
Over the
there
horizon.
forever.
Yeah.
There's nothing, just flat. Like if you go the same distance but you're driving on like the Pacific Coast Highway and you're headed up to San Francisco, it's fucking beautiful.
Beautiful, man.
You barely recognize you. First of all, you're like, the cliff's right there. The fucking cliff's right there.
What if I just fucking.
You could just do that, and people do that for sure. They just go off that cliff, and you just want to make sure the guy on the other side is not thinking, I'm just going to head on this guy, and we're both going to go off this cliff.
Do this shit together.
Let's do this shit. I'm going to drag somebody with me. Fuck him. Ah! The last moments of your life flying off a cliff because some pilled up asshole decided to just slam into you and knock you off.
One afternoon.
It can happen.
Have you seen those birds that jump off the cliff right after they're born? Have you seen these? Dude,
Right after
get this
they're
video.
born?
Yeah. Yes. Look up bird jumps off cliff after birth. So the moment they hatch, the mother and the father go to the bottom of this like 500-foot cliff, and the birds jump and
Jesus.
they hit them. They hit rocks all the way down, and whoever survives with the parents.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's fucking amazing. I just saw it on I think it's on
This looks like it was on Planet Earth.
Planet
so
Earth.
I can't really show this. We can watch it, so people. I'll link the video or something.
But
What
dude,
is the video called so people can...
Chicks jump off cliff.
Chicks jump off cliff. Which is another one that they do here in LA sometimes in Hollywood. But.
I think that's different.
Look at
wow,
this.
This is insane. They don't even have wings yet.
Nope, nothing. Just fucking bold.
Oh my God, this is insane. This is insane. So this poor little thing is... It's kind of like a flying squirrel looking situation. This is insane.
Dude, the first time I watched this, I was so baked. I was like, is this a loop? Because it looks like it's never going to end.
It's so far.
I think he says it 500 or 600 feet or something
It's
like
so insane that this is how life gets born. Oh my God. And he hits the rocks, and you got to assume he's dead.
that. Nope.
Oh my God, he's gonna hit more rocks. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So many fucking rocks.
Look at this thing, it's flipping head over heels. It hits more rocks. Oh, it hit a little grass there. Caught a break.
Caught a break.
Caught a break. That's a good break. Look at this thing. It's going down the side of the cliff, head over heels, head first, asshole, head to a rock.
For a second,
asshole to a rock.
We got a minute. We got a break. Nope.
Got a
never
little
mind.
bit of a break,
Forget
and
about
then
it. Right
boom,
back down.
more bouncing. Boom, head first. Oh, there's your face. There's your dick hole. Here's a rock up your asshole. Here's one on the side of your face. Here's one to your eyes. Here's one to your nose.
Beak.
Oh, another 100 feet to go.
Look at there's mom and dad.
And mom's like, is this motherfucker going to make it? Look, there's another one behind it. No. Look at this. Boom. How's he doing?
So then
Fucking insane.
They stop and wait to see
which ones
live.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nature is so harsh.
Did I knew you would love this because I thought about you the first time I saw this and I was like, this is so fucking proof about surviving, dude. It's so survival. This is the most basic. You have to leap and almost die the moment you enter the world.
That chick is tough as fuck.
Survival,
that chick could
dude.
go 5 rounds of Giorgio Petrosian and just shake it off.
Giorgio versus
is a dead one.
A chick. Yeah, there's one that didn't make it.
I'm sure there's a ton of dead ones.
Blood
man.
all over the rocks. Too.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, you could actually hit one of those corners and it could gut you. You know, for sure.
Yep.
I mean, this is all shale. That stuff is so dangerous. That one's dying. Oh, Jamie, don't show us this. This is so sad. I had a bird come in my house the other day, and this poor little fucker he flew right into the window. Dunk.
I'm sorry, but it makes
he-
me laugh every time I see
Thought
that.
he was going to go out, and then woke up, and then flew into another window. Full speed. Dunk. Out cold. So I thought he was probably dead. And my daughters were going, oh, no, is he going to die? I go, we don't know, honey. Let's put him outside, and hopefully he'll wake up. Fucker woke up.
He did.
Yeah, he woke up like 5 minutes later, like shook it off and
Resilient.
flew away. Like imagine that was a person. That thing was going like 30 miles an hour right into a window. Dunk.
Dead.
Little tiny bird too. He got KO'd, but then got up and flew away.
Came back for another round.
Yeah, I came in the house though. It was weird. Having a bird
I was
in the
at
house.
a buddy's. I was at a buddy's house at this like party, and a fucking hummingbird flew right into the house, like right through the double doors,
Oh,
and was
Jesus.
stuck in the skylights, and it was panicking because it didn't know what to. Like it wasn't willing to come down. So I was just fucked up enough that I was like, I have this idea. Give me a fucking huge pan, the biggest pan from the kitchen, and pour sugar and water in it. Heat up the sugar a little bit. So I put the pan up to it. I got on a ladder, put it up. It started getting in there to drink the sugar water, and I slowly took it down and walked it outside.
Dude, that's some wizard shit.
Well, I was wizardry, dude. I was
That's
fucking
very
magic
clever.
hands.
That's very smart. You ever seen them in slow-mo, man? They're so bizarre. Their wings are moving so fast.
Unbelievable.
It's insane. Like,
It's beautiful to watch, man.
Oh man, I was in Costa Rica and we went to this place that had it had some sort of sanctuary for them.
The Hummingbird Sanctuary.
Yeah, do you know what it is?
Yeah,
Did you
dude.
see it?
I went down to Costa Rica just last year.
So they have, they have these feeders. So you just hang out by them
Yeah.
and take slow-mo on your iPhone and you see the thing floating around your head. There it is right there. I mean, they could just hover. It's so like, how did they evolve like this? It's so strange. Like no other bird makes that that weird sound when it goes by you. It's like they have little wings, but they move stupid fast.
How many per minute? Does it say like how many? I know their heartbeat is insane. Their heartbeat is like 100 times ours or something like that.
They're so cute. They don't seem like killers at all.
No.
Right? They're just out there eating pollen and shit, right?
Look at that. Look at that.
It's incredible. Do they eat bugs? Like, what do they eat?
They got that little tongue that's sticking out.
Right, but
there.
isn't that like going for like nectar and stuff?
That's for nectar, yeah.
This is gonna have some facts for us.
Hummingbird lay 1 to 3 eggs several times per year. Eggs are about the size of a jelly bean. Huh. That's not good facts. I want to know what they eat.
Yeah, I want to know that kind of shit.
Look at that nose. They have the craziest beaks, too. Like, if that was a giant bird, you'd be like, what the fuck?
That's pretty sick. Did you see what that just said?
Extra set of eyelids.
Yeah, they have an extra set of eyelids and they can see ultraviolet.
Whoa.
That's fucking amazing.
Whoa. That beak is crazy. That beak's like a narwhal horn. Like, it's so tiny we don't notice how crazy long their beaks are.
Dude, that's the other thing. I haven't seen there's no consistency of color between all the birds. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
most species have a similar color pattern.
Is there a bunch of different kinds of
Yeah,
hummingbirds?
they eat insects.
Oh, they do?
Insects, pollen,
Flowers,
sap.
tree sap. Pollen and insects. So they're omnivores. Interesting, man. Birds are a trip, dude. They are some of the most unique animals on our planet. I really ignored them. I really ignored birds until I saw my first eagle in person in the wild.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I was with Ari. We were in Alaska. We were in Anchorage. We were going fishing. We're salmon fishing. We're like, dude, that's a fucking wild eagle.
Yeah.
And this eagle's just standing there on this branch just looking down on us. I was like, what? Like, you start realizing what they really are. Like, oh, that's like a murdering dinosaur bird.
Yep.
That flies around and snatches fish out of the water.
It's
it was
a
waiting
dinosaur.
for fish.
Yeah, just chilling.
We were catching these fish, dude. They were like this big. This salmon, these powerful fish, and this eagle comes down and grabs it out of the water with his talons and flies with it.
It's fucking awesome,
dude. I started tripping out on birds after that. Just being near them in the wild and seeing them move around. It just seems so different than seeing them in the zoo.
They're so fucking hardcore. Their wingspans are so amazing to me when they open up how fucking huge they are. Whenever you see one in person, you're like, that is way bigger than I thought.
Well, it's a view back to a much more ancient style of living thing. You know, I mean, it's a view back to dinosaurs. And they're starting to realize more and more dinosaurs, fossils are being found with feathers.
How many fucking birds is that? Have you ever seen a moose in real life?
Oh, yeah, I've shot a moose. That's
Dude,
a moose right there.
Whenever I go up to Canada, like, have you ever been to Banff? You know where that is in Alberta?
Yeah, I know where that is.
Dude, that has the biggest moose I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've seen moose when I was a kid, but nothing like up in northern Canada. Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, the size of a fucking school bus. I mean, it's so big. I think people think they know what a moose is because you're like, yeah, I think it's like a cow or something. You know what I mean? Dude, they're massive animals.
Big. They're so big.
Shocking. It was twice the size of our car. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's a moose.
Yeah, they're so big, it's insane. And if you run into them, like you hit them with your car, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. They'll wreck you. That was like growing up in the Midwest, dude. I'd hear people getting bad car accidents with deer all the time. These guys in Canada, there is no stories about it. You die. You hit a fucking... It's not like, dude, you hear about Mike, he fucking hit a deer. It's like, you hit a moose, it's like, Mike's car exploded. Mike is dead.
A deer will fuck you up, though. There's a buddy of mine who lives in Oregon. A guy on the highway in his neighborhood hit a deer. The deer flipped over his car and hit the car behind him.
Fuck.
And went through the windshield and killed the guy.
Really?
Yeah,
the first guy was fine, huh?
The first guy was fine. The deer flipped over his car. Like, as he hit it, it went flying through the air, and then it landed, like, right head on into this guy's car and killed him.
The craziest shit I ever saw, I was like 8 years old with my dad driving on the fucking Dan Ryan in Chicago, and a car... the middle of the lane was the fast lane was under construction. A car went over the fucking median onto oncoming traffic and hit another car.
Oh Jesus!
Like 100 yards in front of us. I watched it fucking happen. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And it was like the afternoon. I don't know if he was fucked up or what. Poof, right over the median, right into another car.
Gee, and you saw the whole thing.
I watched it happen. I mean, it felt so fake when I was a kid. I remember getting older and asking my dad if it happened because I thought, you know, in your childhood, sometimes you're like, did I see that in a fucking thing and that wasn't real? You know, and you formulate these different stories in your brain as a kid because you know, that line of what's real and fake when you're so young. But dude, I can't forget that happening. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
Perfectly hit another car. It was almost as if like magnetic. It fucking head on.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
I think those Fast and the Furious movies have fucked people up when it comes to like what you can and can't do in a car.
Yeah, dude, they jump a car from like a building and shit to another building and live. It's fucking insane.
I mean, there's a lot of dumb kids out there that watch those movies. They got to be like, yo, man, I got to give that a shot. There has to be someone who thinks that that's what's going to happen when they get behind the wheel, bro. I'm going to be the best ever. I never even drove yet. But once I drive, I'm going to be the best ever.
It's fucking over, dog.
I watch that movie all the time. People just want to be cool. They want to be able to downshift, spin that wheel.
Do you ever watch those fail videos online of people showing off, like showboating in nice cars? That's my that's one of my favorite things. Yeah, they're always like some guys like, spin the wheels, dude. Some guy in like a fucking GTR was like, just right into the fucking wall next to him, just spin out, crash right away. It's just, dude, it's great. I love to see that shit. I love to see people showing off and then right away they're fucked. I love that shit. Nothing
There's
funnier.
so many videos of that now too. I mean, it's almost like if you have a camera and you're pointing it at the guy, you're kind of hexing him because he's saying, man, I hope I don't fuck this up because it's going to be on every internet site,
dude.
everyone's Twitter account, Instagram page. It's like you're kind of like putting too much pressure on them.
Your accident is now shareable.
Yeah, man.
Your mistakes are now everyone's joy. That's the world we're in now. Your fuck-ups could be somebody's great Monday.
Welcome to the new world.
It's brilliant.
It's a crazy new world, man. Didn't exist. It was never like this.
Yeah, you didn't have to worry about someone seeing your fuck-up.
How old are you?
33.
I'm 49. When I was a kid, we didn't even have, like, when I was a boy.
Back in the day.
You heard stories. Somebody fucked up somewhere over there. This guy did that, you know?
That's all there was.
One guy in our town killed someone in a car and dragged this guy around. Like, he got the guy stuck under his car and he just kept driving.
Fuck. Did he not know he was under there? Or he was like, fuck it, I don't care, I'm going to prison anyway?
They don't know. They don't know if he was drunk. I don't know. I don't know when he got caught either. But it was a story. It was in the news. And I remember it was in like, I was delivering newspapers at the time. So I saw it like in the newspapers that I was delivering. It's so weird to have known someone and then know that they ran over somebody in a car and then dragged him around. Yeah, I didn't know him well, but he was like one of those guys in the town. I think he was a little older than me, but he was one of those guys that was always kind of hanging out with a nice car. He always had like a nice Trans Am.
I was just going to say, an IROC Z was about to...
Yeah, his family had money, and he ran over someone and dragged him around. There was always this thing about people whose families had money, like the rich kids.
Get away with it.
Well, it was a weird thing, too. It's like we knew that they were like a little off. Like you always knew that the rich kids were never like a complete human.
Right.
They were always like there was just a few of them that were just a little, like if you knew they were rich. There's probably a lot of kids that we didn't know they were rich, and they were rich, but they weren't fucked up, so it didn't come through.
Right.
But the ones that wanted everybody to know they were rich, like they always had designer clothes on.
Right.
And they always had the nicest shit, and they always had like brand new cars. Like when they were 17, this guy had a brand new car.
It's almost like they're a little bit animatronic. Like there's something robotic about really rich kids, where it's just kind of like super high functioning in a very like disconnected level because they're so unaware of what it's like to not have.
Yeah, well, I'm watching these shows with my kid. We went to see this Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah.
It's actually a funny movie, man. There's some funny shit in there. I laughed hard a couple times in that movie.
Yeah?
I just went because they wanted to go.
Yeah.
But in this movie, one of the things that's like, it really strikes home is like everyone is struggling. This fucking kid is like, everything is falling apart, always, constantly.
Right.
And because of that, he's kind of got a fun personality. Like he gets checked all the time. As soon as he gets cocky, he gets crushed again.
Right.
Like it just keeps happening through, and there's a whole series of these movies. But like, that's not happening to the rich kid that I grew up with.
No,
like,
fuck no.
That's why probably when he hit the guy in his car and had the guy stuck under his car, he didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, he's fucked.
He just thought he was going to get away with whatever.
He figured.
I just got to get away from the cops.
I got to get away.
I'll
yeah.
just clean the car.
There was a kid I went to high school with that had a hit and run, and he got away with it. I mean, obviously I didn't know it was this kid I went to high school with, but he got away with it for a long fucking time. It was such a public story that a famous NASCAR driver at the time painted her name on his car, like find so-and-so's killer, because it was such a fucking big deal. This girl that was hit and run. And he came out years later. This is crazy. He was pilled the fuck up. And he showed up to her sister's house and admitted the whole thing to her sister. And was saying he was going to like run away, kill himself, whatever. And she cleverly, she spoke Polish. She told her husband to fucking call the cops and was trying to calm this kid down. In the meanwhile, telling him to call the cops. And they finally caught this kid before he could fucking off himself or something. But he killed this girl on a hit and run and got, for what it's worth, got away with it for a long time, man.
But he was probably not a bad person. He just was weak at the time and it haunted him.
It had to come out.
Fuck, man.
Crazy, right?
That's a mistake that if you make, like, god damn it.
Does shit like that happen like from your area of where you grew up? Like, do you read stuff now years later that you hear about fucked up shit from back then that like has gotten exposed now? Like these teachers I knew ran a fucking prostitution ring. Dude, it came out in the paper.
The teachers did.
The teachers, dude. The old shop teacher, his daughter.
The shop teacher is a fucking pimp. The shop
teacher was pimping, dude.
That's insane. Who were the girls? The girls were high school students?
No, not high school students. They were fucking just like girls in the community. Probably girls that went to high school and graduated, but older girls that they were pimping out. From the school. They were pimping from school.
What school was this?
This was out in the suburbs of Chicago.
Wow. Here's the question. If they did make prostitution legal, they set it up just like you can go get a massage, you can go have sex with somebody.
Yep.
how much would that change, like, the notion of marriage, relationships?
Nobody's getting married, dude. That's it. It's over. It's over.
It's only a law that's keeping, like, what percentage of people married?
I mean, you said it before when we touched on this prior. The reason that we make it okay is because the church gets involved, right? So if the church says it's okay, it's like my dad was a drug addict growing up. My dad was in and out of prison my whole life when I was a kid, and my mother divorced my father when I was 1. So I don't really have any recollection of any of that. So I don't have that like damage that people are like, my dad got divorced when we were 16. I didn't see it. I didn't know it. But my mom came from such a hardcore Irish Catholic world that my family, the older generation, didn't approve and was like, you can't divorce this man. That's against our religion. And my mom was like, he's a fucking terrible person to me. I have to get out of this relationship. And now they were both young. You know, she just wanted to make the right move for a baby. But the church has so much influence on certain parts of society that my grandmother was like almost disowning. Like, but that's such a reality for that generation that it was like, how could you, what do you mean divorce? I mean, that's like, you're going to hell. Like, that's it. You're done. So my mom had that kind of fuck up in her brain of like, that's how much influence the church has over marriage and coupling. And it's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
It's unbelievably ridiculous that people succumb to that. It's so crazy.
It's controlling, man.
Well, the Catholic Church in particular is one of the weirdest ones ever.
Oh, it's so strange.
Just the insanely high percentage of people that are involved in child abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, what other religion has that connected to it like that?
There's none.
Like not
the Muslim is the biggest in the world, right?
The biggest religion
in the world, right?
I think it is. If it's not Christianity,
yeah, they're probably toe to toe. Either way, you don't hear about that. So are they covering up shit?
It's not the same thing. The thing about the priests and the priests being forced to be celibate and then spending time with boys, like that shit has always gone bad.
Yeah.
Forcing guys to be celibate, bad. Forcing guys to hang out with boys, bad.
Awful.
Something is weird. Weird shit's gonna happen if there's no parents in the room.
Dude, when as soon as you deprive someone of something, they are going to have it. They want it immediately.
And then you attach to it the ultimate power that comes from being a representative of God.
Yeah.
Like you're wearing a priest's outfit to a little kid. Like that kid will suck your dick. He'll do anything you say. He doesn't know what's going on. He's a baby. Ooh,
it's
crazy.
Fucked.
It's so dark, dude.
Deep,
so
dark mind control.
And when you find out how many of them.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's not just one. It's not just 10. Like, the more you hear, the more you're like, dude, this is not a fucking accident. These aren't coincidences. This isn't like a conspiracy. This is a fact that this is rampant, and it's crazy.
It's crazy because it's still happening.
Oh, they don't talk about. Yeah, it's like it's, you know.
Well, how about that Benedict guy, the Pope that had to resign? They found out that he had been involved in the moving of these child molesters from one place to another place.
Keeping them
clean. They would close the story down, shut everybody up, and then move that guy to another place. And one of the guys went on to molest 100 deaf kids.
What?
Yeah, he molested 100 deaf kids. And he was put into that position by this guy who wound up being the Pope.
100 deaf kids.
100 deaf kids. Yeah, it's horrible.
It's fucking awful.
There's so much involved in it. There's so many people that covered shit up. There's so many different versions of these stories. So many stories. Thousands and thousands of stories of people molested by priests.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And if you bring it up, immediately you get people defending it. No, look, you're exaggerating, blah 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 blah. Like I've said this before, like imagine if NASCAR drivers fucked that many kids.
It'd be shut down. Just shut the fuck down.
But because it's the church, we're like, well, listen, but there's good things too. They're working for God. Like,
okay.
It's crazy that any organization can have a history of fucking kids.
We're working for God. Is God's side job fucking children? Because it's not, whatever it is, it's not working.
But we forgive them. It's not all bad. We don't want to break the whole thing up. Definitely don't want to do that.
No, stealing is not bad. Fucking a kid is the same as like some minor bullshit infraction in society.
And thousands of cases, maybe even millions of cases. It's and then still you have these world leaders like Trump met with the Pope. The Pope was all bummed out. Trump should be like, I'm bummed out to be next to you, motherfucker. What about what you represent? You mad at me because I'm pulling out of the climate accord? What about all the kid fucking, bro? Did you bring up the kid fucking?
He's been fucking kids.
That's right. You do a good Trump. Have you seen the pictures of Trump with the Pope?
Yeah,
like the
dude.
Pope's totally dissing Trump.
The Pope is real bummed.
The Pope should relax. He should slow his fucking roll. You're a part of a giant kid fucking ring.
Yeah, who do you think you are?
Yeah,
man?
and you're getting cocky because the billionaire guy who tricked America into voting for him is uncomfortable.
Do you know what the thing that bothers me the most is? The church is all about fucking the community and the people, and they don't pay taxes on all this great real estate they own, tons of it. How come they can't house homeless people or sick people in those churches all day long while they're there? That's free property.
Yeah.
I don't understand. There it is.
Pope's
Yeah,
like, I can't
fucking
even believe I got to do
pissed.
this. Trump's like, my hair looks good. It's a good hair day.
It's a good hair day. Pope, you like my hair?
Touch it, it's real.
I got it done. The guy that I use went to Tony and Guy, the hairstylist school.
The color of his hair is like the color of every retired Florida golfer in his 70s.
It's fucking so gross.
He's got this weird blonde gray thing going on. It's like he moves it around a little. Like some days it's like a darker brown. Some days it's like a blonde. Like
blonde gray. It's just like sand.
He's getting it worked on, is what I'm saying. Like, this is not the color of the hair.
No.
You do one of two things. Let me be clear about this. Either you work on your hair or you don't work on your hair.
Yep.
Okay? So either you dye your fucking hair or you don't dye your hair. It's one of those two things.
How fucking
And when
weird.
you dye your hair, be consistent. You can't go gray and then be blonde again, then be dark-haired. It's too confusing to me. I need to know what kind of a person are you. Like, how much are you working on your hair?
What's your level of hair care?
How much time are you spending putting that together every day?
Did Donald Trump change his hair? Of course, fucking obviously.
Of course he did. Yeah, he's changed his hair color. It goes. He's moving it around.
His
His hair is probably very gray at this point. He's in his 70s. There's nothing wrong with that.
What did you think about all this Kathy Griffin shit?
She's ridiculous.
It's fucking insane.
She needs friends.
Why are you doing that?
It's 100%
What a call for
attention
attention,
ploy.
man. What a bullshit call for attention.
Being edgy. She thought she was being edgy, and she probably was talking with the wrong people and got the wrong idea in her head and went with it and had no one like you around to go, what the fuck are you
doing?
talking about? That's the president.
Right.
And it's a person.
Yeah, it's a human.
Yeah, you can't pretend you want to murder him ISIS style and hold his head up to the camera like a hostage video. That's fucking crazy.
I think it's just it's one of those things where both parties, both extreme left and extreme right, are at such a heightened version of what's happening that people are becoming blind to like logic.
Yes.
Like,
You're 100% right.
Logic is like it's gone.
Yeah.
You would fucking never. If somebody did that with Obama, holy shit.
My God.
Oh my God. I mean, the fucking world would stop spinning. There'd be so much chaos from that. It would be fucking, it would be an insane thing to see that happen.
Well, look, it's just, that's not anyone's solution. Like, that's not a real, like, holding up that head is not a real solution. Like, killing anybody like that.
It's a taunt.
Not only that, even if it's like the worst person in the world, cutting their head off and holding it up like that is fucking barbaric. We wouldn't even want that from Osama bin Laden. No. If we found the video of Osama bin Laden and one of the SEALs held him down and cut his head off and then held it up to the camera, we'd be fucking extremely, like, what are we doing? Why didn't you just kill him?
Kill him.
Like, we're not them.
Shoot him and kill him.
We're not torturing them. We're not trying to terrorize all these other people. We are not going to become what we're afraid of.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's what she's doing. By holding that head up, you are becoming what you are afraid of. You're becoming a monster. You're dead-faced. You're not even emotionally attached to the fact that you're holding up this bloody head. Like, what kind of nonsense, false imagery is this? Like, you don't really think that. You don't really feel that. Is it art? Like, what is it? Is it art?
That's what I'm sure. That's what the argument from her sake was. It's an artistic piece with a photographer who's.
But it's about a real person. It's not Medusa. It's not like a dragon's head you're holding up. This is crazy.
If it's your own head. If it's your own head, you can make a funny statement. If you're trying to make a statement, sure.
But it's like, what are you doing? You're terrorizing that person. If you're that, you have. I know everybody thinks that the president has to assume a certain amount of mockery, and I agree that he does.
Sure,
I agree. Everybody in any position of power like that you're gonna have people coming at you.
Of course.
But there's a difference between that and advocating a brutal assassination and terror video. I mean, that's
head removal.
That's it's not. That's not, no one's going to be sympathetic towards your idea. And in fact, you're going to empower the people that are opposed to you because they're going to think, oh, these people are these crazy ideologues who want to, like, literally promote the murder and torture of someone, cutting their head off. The whole thing is crazy. But it's something that people do where they're trying to get attention or they're trying to entertain or trying to be shocking. It's a
continuation of trying to be in people's frontal lobe. You know, it's like people in Hollywood at some point just want to stay in Hollywood. And I feel like that's what she does a lot. I want to do something controversial on the fucking New Year's Eve host that she does or whatever, so she can stay in Hollywood. It's such a this great director once told me that imagine if this is an actor and as if we're the sun and you know, the sun and the earth and moving around one another, just like an actor in a spotlight. It's as if the spotlight is on the actor at some point, but when it moves away, if the actor tried to move towards it, is when it becomes sad. When it's shifted out of your line of sight, when your work and your progress has shifted as if your time perhaps may be coming to a close as far as it's worth, when you are continuing to search for it, there's nothing more desperate and more obvious. He's like, you can always see when someone's hunting for it again. It looks sad. It looks desperate.
It's also contrary to the very reason people like you in the first place. Like, people like you because you're doing things they enjoy.
Exactly.
You're doing good work. You're doing good comedy. You're making a good movie. Whatever the fuck you do, making a good song. That's why they like you. They don't want to like you because you're trying to get attention.
Yeah.
Or that you're trying to get people to just. What I mean, what is that? I mean, what do you get out of holding a head? Like, what kind of attention do you get? Like,
what did she think? What did she think?
You go, girl.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're with you. Fuck him, kill him. Like, there's people that do think like that, and they could have easily been right. There might be left. They could have easily been right. It's a way of thinking, and you get that way of thinking, and then you program yourself. You get locked into this predetermined pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
Like, all right-wing people, like a giant percentage of them have like an established series of opinions about certain things that we count on because they're the right? Like abortion,
right.
Or even it used to be gay marriage was one
right.
of them. There's always a bunch of them that are just, climate change is one of them. Like, it's like halfway there, like maybe 25% of them hardcore on the right, whereas the left, climate change is almost 100% accepted, right?
Without question.
It's weird. Like, how do these ideas become right or left ideas?
Yeah, who logged them into the database of which side do they belong on?
It's talking points. People on Fox News start talking about it. People agree with it. They like convenient things. It's a cycle. It comes, goes. Don't worry about it. What we need is jobs. And then they run with that. And it's this predetermined pattern that people just love to fall into, man. It's weird.
It's creepy. There should no longer be separation of just permanent party. It shouldn't be you're always left and always right. That's so fucked up.
We're too vulnerable.
Yeah.
I feel it myself. I feel myself the urge to be a part of groups. I do it all the time.
We all do.
We all do.
That is nature and habit, right? Everyone wants to belong to a community.
Yeah.
That's why fraternities exist. That's why when you join a gym, you start to, the moment you join a gym, you start to see people repetitively that you know, and it starts off with a, hey, what's up? That guy you see all the time, and then it's, hey man, oh yeah, and then it becomes a relationship you create because it's communal. Because, we both do this thing we both enjoy. I see you often. We do this thing. We create tribes. We love haciendas. We like to be a part of our little tribe. And when it gets infiltrated, you become vulnerable. You feel like the walls are weakening. It's almost like when the word gentrification really just means a tribe's area has been compromised. You know, It's like this has been this for so long. When white people or people of privilege or money move into anywhere, they're trying to overtake that tribe. That's why there's so much backlash. That's why people fucking get so angry about neighborhoods turning over, quote unquote, because they're like, what can be ours? It's such a fucking delicate thing because you're like, you can't stop that. You're never going to stop that.
Well, not only that, there's a game being played, and you're a part of it because you're paying rent.
Yep.
And there's a game being played. You're a part of it when you're working. You're getting paid for your time during the. Now you have to decide what you're going to do with that time.
Yeah.
And you might feel very stuck in this game that you're at right now, where you're paying this guy for rent and you're working for that guy, and he's giving you a certain amount of money, and it all kind of like evens out at the end. There's nothing left over. But you're still playing a game. This guy's playing the game too, but he's been playing it for 35 years, and his game is I buy houses.
Right.
And I sell them to white people. And I'm going to keep playing that fucking game because this is all legal, and this is why you pay me rent, stupid. It's a fucking, we know the game, but the game is I'm 30 years ahead of the game than you.
Right.
And, you know, I'm a 70-year-old guy with a fucking pocket protector filled with pens, and I've got a bunch of apartment buildings all over the place, and I flip those fuckers. There's a lot of those guys out there. Like, this gentrification thing, I know it's uncomfortable for people. They're like, we're losing the old neighborhood. Like, let's go back to the fucking teepees. Let's go back to the cave. We lost the old caves, man. We're not the same once we moved out of the caves. It's going to happen. Neighborhoods shift. Things change. You can't hold them back. You can't decide, no, we want this neighborhood to stay shitty. You know, or we want this neighborhood to be all Puerto Rican. Well, listen, sometimes it doesn't work that way. Some people die, new people move in. Do you really care if Swedish people move in your neighborhood? You know, we're losing Chinatown. What do we do? Are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
Is it okay if you live here or people? There's going to be change. It's going to come and go. You can't control it.
Right.
You can't control it based on nostalgia. This has always been East Harlem's finest Slovaki place. We have to keep it. Like, no, we don't. No one has to do anything.
I do love East Harlem's famous Slovaki place, I will say.
I don't even know what that is. It's not even a thing. I was searching for a word. But I was like, that happens like when restaurants close and people get furious. Yeah, someone doesn't have to fucking keep the restaurant open, stupid.
I was just up in
Things change.
I was up in Seattle, and these guys, these Costa Rican guys I started talking to at the Fremont Brewery were telling me about this great Caribbean food place up the street. And I said, what makes it so great? And he's like, you know, it's just the recipe, because the guy that used to own it was this Cuban guy, just the brilliant chef, and he got sued for illegal wage garnishing of these illegal employees that couldn't speak English. So he got sued, so the city shut him the fuck down. Some other fucking white rich guy came in, bought the recipes from the guy to help him out with his lawsuit. Still runs.
Wow.
Just as good. Like,
it can be done if someone does it correctly.
He did it. He bought the recipes. He was like, the mistake I think when people buy a bar or buy a place, they think they're buying the place. Nah, there's more than just the brick and mortar. There's more to it than that. So he knew the food success was because of this guy, the way he did it. You can't just, like, it's not just a Cuban restaurant or a Caribbean restaurant. He was like, I want to do it exactly how you did it. So he paid for him to give him those recipes. So he cooked
just the recipes.
Just
or did he show him how he was cooking it too?
He cooked it. He paid him for the recipes, and I don't know the rest of the details. But that is to get it back to where it was. And this dude from Costa Rica was like, still the same. I fucking love it.
Wow.
He was a couple of white guys that are back there now. He's the same food.
It doesn't mean that I don't appreciate people that live in these neighborhoods that are being forced out. You're gonna have to get a new place to live, and you can't afford it. You can't afford to live in the neighborhood anymore because people are buying it up. I get it. I understand that it sucks, but ultimately, it's probably good for everybody. It's definitely good for the neighborhood. The neighborhood's going to get like these nice houses now, and people are going to move in. They're going to have, it's going to be more value if you did buy a place. If you did take the risk and bought a place, that place is going to be worth more money now.
Right.
I know maybe you couldn't buy a place. I know, well, it's hard to buy a place when I get paid. I get it, but you don't have to do that.
Right.
I know you feel like you have to do that, and they can come up with a bunch of excuses, and everybody would argue all day long about white privilege, and you're lucky, and this and that, but the bottom line is, you're not in a cage, all right? If you're not in a cage and you're out there doing something, you could figure out a way, maybe it's a month from now, maybe it's 6 months from now, to transition into something else, figure your way through the maze.
Right.
We don't all start at the same spot in the maze.
Nope.
Agreed.
Couldn't.
But don't ever complain about your spot in the maze. Just figure your way through that thing.
Right, you're in the maze.
Yeah, it sucks. Definitely hard. Not easy. Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Keep moving. Don't jam this up with your tears, you fuck. Keep moving. You don't understand capitalism, and that's why I'm a socialist. Okay, just keep moving though. You're just talking too much. You're not moving enough.
Go do it.
Yeah, there's not enough happening here. There's complaining about other things happening. I get it. It's not good. The climate change agreement is a terrible thing to leave.
It's a bad thing to leave.
His own daughter told him not to leave.
But I never liked croissants, so we got to get out of Paris.
She did.
His own daughter was like, this is a bad idea. This guy's crazy. He's going against science.
He is perfectly out of his fucking mind.
He's going against science. Like, the scientists are saying, hey, we've got to reduce emissions. 100%. We're polluting the air we breathe. We're ruining the very air that we need to exist on.
Yep.
No.
Not true.
Don't agree.
We bought new air. There's so much air. Have you ever seen how much air there is?
Maybe he's doing this because he's about to move into position to use one of those gigantic building-sized air filter things. Maybe he's going to have a Trump air filter.
Trump air filters.
And set them up in every city. You could all go back and buy diesel trucks, and no one's going to care anymore. We're going to clean that air nice.
It's kind of like Idiocracy. Did you ever see that movie? So ahead of its time, man.
I never saw that movie.
Dude, it was that kind of thing where the future is like they don't drink water anymore. They've been convinced by this like Gatorade type drink where it's like, this is better than water. And people are like, it's got to be. So everyone fucking drinks it.
It makes sense.
They're like, it's better than water. If you can convince enough people what it is, people will get on board. Blind faith. I'm trying to talk about that on stage right now about blind. We have so much blind faith. Like I went to the gas station to get this thing. I ate a brownie. It was like a protein packed brownie or whatever. I just trusted it. That's all real. I don't fucking know what that. It's probably just a bullshit ass brownie, but it's like packed with protein.
Yeah, if you actually got the real statistics on it.
Yeah, it's probably
got
bullshit.
What
yeah, there it is.
Craved. It's got electrolytes.
It was brilliant.
Plants craved.
What was the name of the stuff? What was it called? Did it say what it was called? The juice. It was like, but it looked like Gatorade. It was like they were watering their plants with it and shit. Nothing was alive anymore. But out of the sink would come this fucking Gatorade type looking drink. Brondo. That's right. Brondo.
The thirst mutilator.
Fuck your thirst.
That's hilarious. I need to watch that movie.
Click on that picture to the up, just all the way over, down at the left. That one. Yeah, look at that. That's what the world has become.
That makes sense.
You see the size of that Costco?
That's hilarious. That could happen.
Totally.
That's all totally possible.
Have you been watching this Handmaid's Tale?
No, what is that?
No? Have you know about
What
this?
is it?
On Hulu, man. It was a book written, I want to say 20 years ago. Elizabeth Moss is a star of it. It's essentially about if World War III broke out and we became like an ultimate police state and there was like a sub-government that took over and we went back to essentially biblical times when women who were fertile were used for the rich as handmaids for making babies.
Whoa.
Dude, it's fucking trippy as shit.
Whoa.
You gotta watch it, bro.
It's based on modern time?
Yes, it takes place in modern time. As if World War III broke out. I don't want to give you too many details, but then we're under a police state. So these handmaids, these fertile women who are of lower socioeconomic status, they must wear these things and abide by their masters, which are the wealthy 1%ers of the world who own these fertile women because their wives are infertile. Boy. So they must repopulate this new community.
Whoa.
Dude, it's fucking right up your alley. It's insanely good. But it was a book that was written...
Meanwhile, that's a total possibility.
Well, that's why, dude, it's getting so much love. In fact, some of the parallels in the show of what's going on in society now and some of the commentary, because this was shot prior to the election, It's so specific. I mean, that's why people are falling in love with it, because they're like, this is creepily real. Like, it's almost... You know, I think with what... Especially from for what I've heard from women's perspective, you know, like, taking the fear of women's rights being removed... As far as things like Planned Parenthood or what have you, the choices of your own fucking body, I think there's so much echoed in the show that it feels creepily real. Where it's like you could one day just go, like they do in one of the scenes without giving anything away. It's like, all the women are fired today.
Well, you know that Iran of today is nothing like Iran of like the 1960s.
No.
Have you ever seen like the difference between Iran then and now?
No.
They became when the Ayatollah took over, because the Ayatollah was a religious figure, and he took over and the changed the country. I'm terrible with Iranian history, so if you're listening to this and you're upset that I'm getting it wrong.
So many Iranians are fucking pissed.
Essentially, they used to dress like much more free.
Yeah, look at that.
It was like much more westernized.
It was like the 70s. It looked like the 70s. Yeah, it looked like 70s United States.
I mean, and then shit changed. And now, if you go there today, I mean, look, the Middle East is... with a shining example of what is possible in 2017 as far as like suppression
look at how low
of women.
cut her shirt is there.
Hot.
I mean, that's you're dead if you'd wear that now.
Ooh, big old titties too.
Let's go.
Chaka chaka chaka. Yeah.
But I mean, that'd be it, right? She'd be fucking slain for that.
Now they have to cover their head. I mean, they have like religious scarf laws. And you know what's really crazy is they're better than like Saudi Arabia. I mean, Saudi Arabia's what you can and can't do today. I mean, you're essentially like a second-class citizen if you're a woman.
Below.
I don't think are they allowed to drive now? Are they changing that?
I don't know. I mean,
I know there's some people that are trying to change that. There's some people that are progressive over there that are trying to change that.
I think they're straight property, man. That's what they view them as, like straight numbers.
The idea you have to keep your head covered, you have to wear those robes and the garb, and And then there's women that are trying to say that that's a source of empowerment. There's a bunch of crazy people out there. Just like there was always Uncle Toms, like during the civil rights movement, and just like people are just, there's always going to be like black guys for Trump. There's always contrarians.
And you're like, really?
Yeah. There's going to be women that say that wearing the, how do you say it, hijab?
Hijab, I think.
Hijab.
Right? Yeah, it's hijab.
That's it's empowering for women. The fuck it is, you have to wear it. It's a religious symbol of oppression.
How could you? I understand being born into something and not knowing any other way. I do understand that. Like,
I get it too.
Right, but at the same time,
or born into it and being convinced that this is the way that it should
sure.
be.
But when you see freedom of the world, when you see the freedom of the world, that we're all born fucking naked and free to be these things, I don't know why there isn't a little bit more of a click that goes, why do these women in other places have more freedom? Because the goal of any sort of religious fucking constriction is questioning, right? So if you question it, you're automatically fucked. But if you question it enough, where you research and you look and you find out and you learn, I would assume you would become enchanted with the idea of being free, of just wanting to not have someone fucking tell you where you can walk, what you can do.
That makes sense, but when you connect an ideology with God and with the idea of the divine,
the ultimate, right.
That's the ultimate reason to stick around. Like, at the end of the day, it's clothes. Clothes are made by people. If you're telling me that God is saying that you have to wear some kind of clothes and not other kind of clothes, I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, who's the people?
You're not talking to God. He's never talked to you and told you to wear that. This is crazy. And when you have an ideology where you're trapped into dressing a certain way or wearing certain clothes or wearing a certain emblem or some sort of a symbol, you're trapped by the mind of a human being.
Yeah.
That is the mind of a human being. They've created a pattern that they want you to not deviate from whatsoever. I want you to walk around like this. We're going to cover this, and you're going to wear these, and maybe have one of those on your neck, and maybe a certain amount of beads that symbolizes you're single or you're not. Bullshit.
Yeah.
This is by a person. This is some cult shit.
It's a guy in a room.
100%. It has nothing to do with God. Like, you would be serving God more to be free and naked. Like, that God created you, if God is real.
Butt naked.
He didn't make clothes. God doesn't have
exist.
any stock in Levi's. God's not making burqas. God would like you to be naked. If that's real. If God just lets you, or wear whatever the fuck you want, because it's all there for humans to wear.
Right.
Like, if people are making clothes, they're making clothes for people. They should be able to wear whatever the fuck they want. If I was God, I would say, yeah, that makes sense. Wear whatever you like. Stay warm, you know.
Sure. Don't die, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only reason I made
God wants
you
you
to
to
not
cover
die.
your hair? Why? This is nonsense. This is people talk.
Yeah, someone said that. A person said it. We
Yeah.
believe in it.
Well, the priest must dress like a wizard. Why? Why does he have to dress like that? No one dresses like the Pope anymore. Why is the Pope dressed like the Pope? Get the suit off!
Someone loved wizardry so much they were like, we gotta fucking keep that. We gotta keep somebody in that.
I used to always think that when I was a kid and I'd have to go to church. I'm like, why does he have to wear that stupid fucking collar?
So silly to me.
What is that collar? He has to wear that collar so I know that he's real?
I'm the one.
Oh, he's got the thing on. He's got the priest collar. Look at that. Look at that Pope. He's got wings like he's in a fucking
He's a
video.
wingsuit. Yeah.
An MTV video in the 80s. What is that?
That one's sponsored by Red Bull.
Is that blowing in the wind? Is that what it is? Yeah, probably. That's the answer, my friend.
That's his
blowing
wings.
in the wind.
It's blowing in the wind.
Catholicism was one of the, and this is what I was raised in, sort of.
Look,
when I
there's
was
a
little kid.
wizard hat, Joe, just for you. Look above.
It's my favorite.
There you go.
This is like that. That's so funny. And why is that any more outrageous than that fucking thing that he
It's the
actually
same
did
shit,
wear?
yeah.
That's even more weird. Look at that giant crucifix. Look at his fucking hat. Oh my God, they're so silly. They're the silliest people. The fact that anybody says, yeah, that guy's, keep that picture up there.
Look
Don't
how
change
heavy
that.
clothes
Just go
looks.
full screen with that. What in the fuck are we looking at here? This guy's got a 3-foot tall hat on. And it's all gold and studded and ornate. Like, wouldn't you think that God would want you to be humble? If you're a servant of God, are you really supposed to be covered in gold?
Gold. Look at his gold fucking pimp ring.
Like, I represent God with my nugget ring. Look at that nugget. Kiss it.
This is a Persian rug draped around his shoulders.
This elaborate work on that robe thing that he's got on. It's so preposterous. The idea that God would want you to dress like that.
You know what I always think of when I see big elaborate things like this is at the end of the day he's got to take that off to take a shit, and it's so sad to take that off and drape it on the ground. You know what I mean? When he's sitting there,
stacks it on his lower back.
Like it's a wedding dress
to
or something.
wipe, he did a terrible job of cleaning up, so the bottom of it has a little shit stain on it. But he's still the Pope, so he's bringing it up to the sink, and he's trying to wash it in the sink, and it's just sort of wet and brown. He's trying to get that little shit streak out of the bottom of his thing.
We call him the poo pope, but
You're
don't say
being
that.
disrespectful to my beliefs. You're disrespectful. Yes. If this is what you believe, if you believe this guy is the fucking guy who's talking for God, come on, man. I'm not saying there's no God. What I'm saying, we have to be very wary of people.
They're just people.
And cults. And people and the patterns of thinking and behaving that they want you to engage in. This is what we're looking at here. There's two people holding this guy's fucking coat. These two guys who are dressed like gay matadors, like giant gold-encrusted gay matadors, and they're holding on to his cape.
They're fighting the devil.
And they're walking with him as he walks around with his giant staff of magic. He's got a wizard's wand. It's a goddamn Gandalf wand. He's dressed like a wizard, and he's got a staff. Like, why isn't that glowing? Why isn't there a lightning bolt going from that up into the storm clouds?
That looks like the level of cape bitch is way above the other guys. Like, that's a graduation for them. To be cape bitch is real big. That's a big deal.
Cape bitch is a huge position. Look at these guys. These two cape bitches. The guy on the left's probably annoying as fuck. I bet he tells a lot of long stories. When he gets the Pope alone, he's like, I just wanted to tell you about my cousin and his belief in the Lord. And, I think right now he's not getting along too good with...
Is this the first pope that's okay with gay marriage? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, he's got to say that.
He's the first one that was like, whatever.
He tossed out the throne, too. He's got a normal chair.
Does he?
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. But I think that was probably a joint effort. They're like, look.
It was a PC move. It was a politically fucking correct
See these
move.
doors behind me? There's 1,000 kids back there waiting to suck your dick. Okay, we got to make this right, though. We gotta
throw away
clean
that
up
chair.
the image. We're still gonna do plenty of kid fucking.
What if you saw the Pope threw away his chair and got one of those like the medicine balls to sit on? You know what I mean? Like he started really getting. He had standing desks and shit. He started getting into like corporate America.
What are you showing me here, Jamie? Is that the
Pope Mobile, the new one or whatever?
Yeah, the Pope Mobile, the new one doesn't have bulletproof glass anymore. The last Pope was like, I know they want to kill me. I'm hiding.
Look at that. They don't even need glass to go all the way up because his back arches over so much. He doesn't sit up straight. So they don't need high glass. It's like a child window.
I wonder if that is different colors of glass, because I would imagine you want to keep the headshots from coming down from the roof.
Totally.
I mean, if someone's going to shoot that dude. But this guy doesn't even think anybody's going to shoot him. And he's like, if someone wants to shoot me, they'll fucking shoot me.
Do it. It's done.
Yeah, he's exposed.
Is it a Benz? It's a Benzo, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
G-Wagon,
God always said he
son.
loved Mercedes more.
Baby Jesus loves a G-Wagon, kid. Like the other old one's a Benz, too. The old bulletproof one.
I bequeath my son a Mercedes-Benz.
Boy, there's nothing that says faith like driving around in a bulletproof fish tank. Right? I mean, that just shows you really have a belief that God has a plan.
Can run flat, half-inch thick steel plate, lightweight Kevlar armor.
God damn
3-inch composite plastic glass to withstand explosive.
Jesus Christ. It's 5 tons. That's a 10,000-pound truck. That's crazy. 15 miles a gallon. That's very efficient.
Yeah, that is really
0
efficient.
to 60, 6 seconds? What?
That's quick, dude.
Wait a minute. How's that even possible? That's bullshit. Get that fucking thing on Top Gear. Run a stopwatch with that. That's no way that gets 0 to 60 in 6 seconds.
We're going to race the Pope Mobile versus the King of Saudi Arabia's Mobile.
That's hilarious. Dude, you sound like the guy from not Top Gear. It's like Fifth Gear or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that it? The other one?
What's the other one? That's who
Yeah. You sound just like him. That's creepy.
The Pope Mobile.
Something I like about British car analysts.
Oh, dude, me so much.
Like
well,
the
they take the piss out of everything. I like how
Yeah.
self-deprecating they are. When they shit on cars, it's my favorite.
Jeremy Clarkson's the best.
Dude, it's hilarious. The way he
Yeah.
shits on things is so much fun. And I just like to see fucking friends dump on each other on TV. I
Yeah.
think that's fun to watch people dump on each other.
Well, especially in this day and age, it would be considered bullying. Like
Yeah.
they're bullying their friend.
That's really rude to pick on him like that.
Yeah, they just go after each other constantly. It's a fun show, man.
Yeah, man, they have a beer afterwards. It's
for
it's
sure.
fine. It's fucking fine. Just
Well, they were playing characters. Like James May would be Captain Slow.
Yeah. I love that shit.
They fucked up when they canceled that show. Jeremy Clarkson punched some producer and they canceled the show and fired him.
If he knocked out a tooth or some shit like that.
Well, he's drunk. That's what happens. You want to hang out with a big, crazy drunk dude. You want to talk shit.
Don't talk shit.
Talk shit, get hit.
Yeah.
You guys are all drinking. That's how it goes down.
Yeah.
You guys had a bar fight. Yeah.
It's like the most normal thing happened.
And he
That's so fucking
apologized
annoying.
afterwards, and the other guy accepted it. It was just, they fucked up. And
Yeah,
then,
why can't that be the end of it?
I don't know, man. And they have a new one they're doing now, and Matt LeBlanc from Friends is on it.
No. Is he a big car guy?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
He's a giant car guy, and
I
he's
didn't know.
he's a nice guy. And
Yeah, I don't know anything
like,
about him, but I didn't know that.
Comes off like a good car guy. It's not that he's bad. It's just that goddamn Jeremy Clarkson is a fucking icon.
Yeah, he's a maniac,
He's
man.
an icon.
But Matt LeBlanc is he a car collector? Does he have his
He
own
loves
car?
cars. I don't know
Wow.
to what extent, but he definitely loves cars. He knows how to drive too. He drives on the show. Like he's driving a Porsche 911R.
He can rip it.
He knows what he's doing.
That's good.
Yeah, he can drive. It's so he must have some experience, some real track time experience. But the guy Chris Harris, who's on it, he's been on the podcast before. That he's my favorite
Yeah, he's
out of
funny.
all the guys out there that are reviewing cars now, and he knows so much about them. Like he really understands like the geometry and the physics behind like the suspension. He can tell you what they've changed, what they've improved, and
Yeah.
what it feels like, and what's being lost in this.
That's always impressive to me to have a bevy of knowledge like that. My dad's worked in the automotive aftermarket industry for so long. My stepdad, who's my dad, but
What does he do?
dude, for years and years, he worked for the ever famous Turtle Wax car wash. He was the president of sales for Turtle Wax. Man, he used to sell
Wow.
Turtle Wax, and then now
The
he
gold
works
standard.
The gold standard, dude. And now he works. But the Turtle fired him. The Shell fired him. Fuck them. And then he works for this company called Haynes, who's out of Britain, and they are one of like the last remaining companies that makes A to Z manuals on hand building vehicles.
Wow.
So if you want to hand build kit cars or you want to literally build a car from fucking scratch, most of their sales go to like mechanics, auto body shops, but they own the rights to fictional, how do I say this? They own the rights to fictional mechanics, fictional mechanisms that in our film world are real. Like the fucking Millennium Falcon, they own the rights to how to build a Millennium Falcon from scratch.
Whoa.
And they sell that manual. That's a real fucking manual you can buy. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah, they have that for a bunch of cars.
Kid cars are pretty wild.
Dude, kit cars I was always fascinated with. My buddy's dad used to build MGs all the time and let us fuck around in them, and I was fascinated with MGs because he loved them. I mean,
There's this dope English kit car that was for sale really recently, and you would buy it, and then once you got it over here, then you had to put an engine in it. But
yeah,
they'd sell it to you with no engine.
right. You got to buy you build it first, and they drop it in there.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was a different. It wasn't a total kit car. Like you start from scratch, you attach the suspension.
Right.
It wasn't that. It was like they would sell it to you as a car with no engine, and then you would have to put the engine in. It's a dope.
That's a
God,
trip.
the name is like it's right there.
But
The
there's
name-
so many blocks there's only so many blocks I could fit in that framework, right?
Yeah. You would get like a parameter, like a V8 LS1 or something like
Right.
that, and try to put it in there. God damn it, Noble. That's what it's called.
Noble car.
It's called a Noble.
That's dope.
It's a dope looking car, man. And guys, I think they're just, you'd only have a certain amount of horsepower it could take. But I don't think it had the drivetrain either. I think you had to add the drivetrain as well. I think essentially it was just a frame and the doors and all that shit.
They must have just been parts from other third-party car manufacturers, and they got whatever parts they could, put them together. You built that, and then the engine is what, from anywhere at all?
I think you'd have to just know how to do it. I mean, there's a whole market now where they buy engines and then they put them in older cars. So
Yeah.
they'll buy like one of the big companies that does it is a company called Icon, and what they do is they take like a '69 Bronco,
Yeah.
and they strip it down. They put the car back together again with a modern suspension. And then they take a 2017 Ford Mustang engine and put
drop
it in
it
the
in?
Bronco. Yeah.
Whoa.
So they put totally modern brakes, totally modern suspension, Bronco engine. Well, but the Bronco engine's a 2017 Ford.
The Ford
yeah,
GT or
It's
something?
called a Coyote motor. It's a
Yeah.
really high-end, high-tech motor. It's a really nice motor. So you have like this old school car. So they have like kits like they do that with LS1s
I've heard
or
that.
LS engines.
Maybe you and I talked about this. Someone was saying that they were taking Ford might have been doing this themselves, where they take classic Mustangs and put new Mustang engines in old classic Mustang bodies.
No, we were talking about that. You
Well,
and I were talking
yeah.
about that. There's a guy who's got a page on Instagram where he did it, and I think it's called GT500 Super Swap. So he's got someone had a Shelby Shelby GT500
Yeah.
from 2012, and he put that body of a 1969 car over the 2012 car.
Fuck.
So it's the best of both worlds. That's it right there. It is
Wow.
so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Wow.
So this guy nailed it. But he's only done one car.
What
I
is
thought
he-
he was like doing it. I thought there was a company that was doing it. But apparently it's just this one dude who's done this.
What does that run for? Did it say what he's selling those for?
I don't think he's selling it.
No, he just wants to fucking show
I
you
think
how
he just
dope
did
his
it
shit
once.
is. He should sell the fuck out of that thing.
He should sell the fuck out of that. Look, that would be where I had a 2012 GT500.
There it is.
It was a great car. That's another one though. That's a different color. Oh, it's a different car.
Oh,
Helping
look
a
at that! Look at
friend.
that! Helping a friend sell a '68 Mustang 33K.
Ooh, that's a beautiful car.
Wow, 33,000 miles is nothing.
That is nothing. That's a beautiful car. God, those things were classic. Those 1960s Mustangs are some of the most beautiful shapes ever. And to take that and put I think 2012, the GT500 packed 550 horsepower.
Yeah, almost 600. Isn't that crazy that this won't be in the future? That like in the future, like no one's gonna have. A lot of these current cars now are just gonna go by the wayside. Like there's only so many cars that will stick around as classics from the, early 2000s era.
Yeah, there's not going to be any like driving yourself in 100 years.
No, it's over. Like that idea is fucking dead. It's
Yeah,
gone.
we'll have that's a Noble. Yeah, that's it
Wow.
right there. Isn't that a dope car?
It kind
Now
of
that I
has a
think about it,
Ferrari body a little bit, right?
kind of, sort of like an old, more like, what is the car I'm thinking of?
The Lotus,
A
front
Lotus,
used to look like
yes.
that. Yeah, the Lotus front
Yeah,
used to look
that's
like
right. Like the cool Lotuses of like, wow, look at that. Oh, that's a newer one, huh?
that. Wow, that's
Holy
fucking
shit.
tight.
That's a
That's pretty cool.
that's a digital image. We can't hear you.
Sorry, their website's pretty cool.
Are they,
Pull it back up.
where does it say? They're Italy, right? Is that where they're out of?
England.
British.
I think they don't have airbags, or they didn't have airbags.
Yeah, because if you're going
see,
180, fuck
that
it.
doesn't look like an airbag to me.
No.
That just looks like a steering wheel.
You die, I guess.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
mean,
think that's
if
too
you're-
complicated.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck that airbag thing. I would want to find out, like,
No, that
How
looks like it
much-
might have one.
actually it might have an airbag. No, that's a horn,
no,
bro.
it's a horn. Yeah,
It's
fuck
just
it.
a horn.
That's it.
I think that was the problem. I think they hadn't gone through all of the FC. What is it? What would be the?
What is that? The name of that? No, I can't think. The FA, no, the IHSA safety motor.
that it?
Yeah, IHSA. Yeah.
they
That
have-
thing's fucking really sexy looking, man.
dope-looking
That's all
car.
that carbon fiber in there.
God, those seats look amazing. Look
But
at
see that e-brake is up, but it doesn't look like it's stick.
That's just what you put in your asshole.
Oh, that's where
Once
you get
buy one of
fucked.
those.
Oh,
Yeah.
when you okay.
lube that bad
Is there one
boy
in the
up.
front too? Can you suck one while you fuck one?
No, you can't be greedy.
That wouldn't be noble.
Look at the inside of that thing.
Well, see,
God,
go
it's
back to that
beautiful.
cockpit. See, there's no that's all push button. There is no fucking
Yeah,
stick
there's
in there
no
at all.
manual transmission. That's what they're all using now. Those exotic Italian cars and everything.
Yeah.
Everything is paddle shifts now.
I know. Well, look at this. Did you see this? I had this. This was for a thing. Hold on, let me show you.
I'm really bummed out the new NSX.
Look at that fun thing, huh? I rented that for the shoot that we were doing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's the old Magnum PI Ferrari, man.
No, that's a couple years later.
Yeah, it was,
That's
but
a
it's
355 GT,
Yeah,
right?
it's a similar design though. was
John
sexy.
Lovitz had one of those. I drove that once.
Dude,
John
so
Lovitz
fun.
let me drive his car.
That year of Ferrari, or well, not just that year, but I mean that was when Ferrari's 1 was down. You know, Ferrari's 1 is down.
Yeah.
And instead of up, reverse is
Right.
up, but 1 is down, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that thing was so much fucking fun. Look at that. Oh,
That's right. I forgot that they had it backwards.
yeah, it was backwards. 1995 was, I think, the year of that Ferrari.
Somebody wrote Pontiac Fiero, dope Pontiac Fiero. But do you remember when they used to have those kit cards? When they
Yeah,
would take
man.
like a Pontiac Fiero and put like Ferrari bodies on the
Yeah.
outside, like a fake Ferrari body?
Yeah. That's that's pretty great, man.
So much work.
Somebody just showed me. I forgot about Lamborghini Countach, and it was like their something year anniversary, and they just are re-releasing the Countaches. Do you remember those cars?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was when I remember thinking that was the only car that I ever thought was worthy of any amount of money that it was worth. I was like, that's any dime that thing is fucking worth, I wouldn't buy that fucking thing.
Do you remember
It
that
was such a
Sylvester
fucking cool
Stallone,
car.
Rocky drove that car
Yes,
in
dude.
Rocky 4
Yeah.
when he was going through a fucking real hot time, trading for this Russian. And so he had there's a crazy
Hey.
scene. Look at this. Look at him. The handsome bastard with his boxing shoes on.
He's got
That is
boxing shoes on.
Hilarious.
That's the Countach, baby.
He's a beautiful man back then. But there's a like it's literally a music video where they play where he's in the car and the music starts playing.
Yeah, when he's cruising.
And he's driving. It's so corny.
It's so cheesy.
Yeah, give me no easy way out. Give me some volume on this. This is so terrible. The people at home can hear this or no?
Yeah.
Southpaw, look at how dope that plate was.
So he's driving around and he's thinking of Dolph Lundgren kicking his ass while he's driving around. And he's in his Lamborghini. He's so cool. He leaves his mansion. It's so silly.
Oh, dude, he's the fucking man.
Look, it's so silly.
No smiles at all. Not happy. Not excited about it.
Yeah, he took a deep breath.
Just
I got
gotta-
my tie on.
I just gotta
I'm
think about it.
sophisticated now.
I just gotta think about where my life is going.
The best part about it is to do this movie or to do this fight, he had to go to old school methods and move to the fucking woods and he was carrying logs around and running in the snow.
Right, chopping down fucking trees, dude.
That's how you get in shape.
Fucking A, man shit.
Man shit
Man
out in
shit.
the woods. Adrian, I gotta leave you alone. I gotta go out here in the wilderness. Gotta go out here and chop some wood.
I gotta chop wood, then I'm gonna fuck you, and then I'm gonna go whoop ass.
I'm gonna carry a log through the snow. Oh, shut this off before I die.
Oh, shit.
I can't do it anymore. Those movies are great, though.
Dude, so fucking great.
A window into time.
I know, a return when it was okay to be ridiculous in film.
Oh, yeah, man.
Now
Yeah.
it's everything gets checked and balanced so much that everything is like has to be proven by the studio. Back then, that was an idea. I'm sure he was like, "What if I'm driving around thinking about the fight?"
We'll make a music video.
And they're like, "Great, we got an extra $100,000 to burn this week. Let's fucking do it."
I'm thinking we have a time lapse of all the shitty moments in my life. All the things that didn't work out.
Can you guys show first time family member died?
How about we go back to the first time I ever kissed Adrian?
Okay, yeah, Rock. We have some of our own scenes planned.
Fuck that.
Fuck.
I know my people. He does, though. I mean, he's still
does,
cranking out
dude.
action movies. He's kicking people's asses, and he's in his 70s.
Dude, can I tell you the one? I did a fucking benefit. I did like the stand up at a benefit for Tom Arnold for this charity he runs, and Sly was there because they've known each other for years. And as I got off stage, I walked past him, and I didn't want to I didn't want to be like, hey, and fucking call attention. But as I walked by, he goes, very, very good. I was like, that's fucking awesome. I was like, that's enough for me, dude. Very, very good.
I interviewed him once for the UFC. There was something was going on. He was some movie was coming out. I forget what movie it was, but he was fun. He was easy. Didn't
Was it
take
The
him
Expendables
seriously.
or whatever that is?
I don't remember. I don't think it was.
I
think it was
fucking
another
man.
movie. I forget what movie it was. But he was super self-deprecating and easy to get along with.
That's how you stay fucking on Earth, man.
He said something about his mom, and then someone yelled something out, like someone heckled him, yelled something. I goes, "Oh, there's my mom. She's up there." He's quick, but he was like a genuinely nice guy, just friendly, easygoing, one of the biggest movie stars in the world. But was like, "Hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing?" It was pretty cool. I liked it. It was nice.
That's what we were saying before we jumped on. The level of what fame means to be an international movie star now has changed so much that I was in Japan, and I'm in Japan, and I bring up my Instagram because these young Japanese kids are wanting to see my social media, and he sees the blue check mark of the verified shit, and he's like, famous? And I'm like, no, dude, no. I was like, they give that to any fucking asshole now, and they're all laughing because they're like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, comedian, and their faces were kind of like, comedian, and one guy goes, Will Smith? And I go, yeah. Will Smith. That's exactly right. But then you
Fresh
realize
Prince.
That's the level of when you say what's famous around the world. You're like Sly. When you say who was a famous internet, I don't know if we have I don't know if the rest of the world knows as many of our stars as they used to. It used to be you were an international star and that's what made you a mega star. Now it's kind of you can be famous here in film and not really be known at all over there. I mean, you could then, but there was I feel like we were pumping out international stars at one point. There were just a bevy of international action stars. You know what I mean? That just became in that era of Schwarzenegger, Sly, even we were talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme before this, Seagal, all these Willis, all these mega international superstars because the action movies were so big. Now we've put that into fantasy film. So now it's Guardians of the Galaxy. Now it's any superhero movie. That's become it. But I miss the world of like, why can't we have an action movie that isn't a comic book? Where does that go?
Yeah, it would have to be like someone you believe. You'd have to be The Rock.
But that's not. But like he could do it.
He could do it.
But why doesn't it exist?
Maybe people don't want those movies anymore.
Fuck, why not?
They have to have some sort of a metric they're judging this from, right? Like when they're making these movies.
I think it's because they made a couple of action hero movies. I mean, they made a couple of comic book films, and they did so fucking well that now we have a bevy of them because they know that there's such a big market for it. But I can't imagine you wouldn't want to see another
Die Hard type dude.
Yeah, why the fuck not?
Why haven't they redone Die Hard? They did? See, there you go.
Yeah, but don't redo.
Who did they redo Die Hard with?
When did they?
They didn't redo it. They just they're still doing it.
It's being done right now?
Yeah, I think they're even making another one right
Who's the Die Hard guy?
Still Bruce Willis.
Get the fuck
Shut
out of
up.
here.
Yeah,
Bruce Willis has not kept himself up. He looks like he'd throw a punch, his shoulder would blow out.
Fucking hell. That really hurts.
I mean, unless he's been working out since I last checked.
2013, and then it says future right here. Let's see.
They started it in 2013?
Oh, that's the last one came out.
Was it? Did they try to do a TV show? Is that what it was?
What? Wait a minute.
I read they were making another one recently.
There was a Die Hard in 2013?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
What?
With Justin Long, I think, was in it, and it's like about his daughter. And,
what?
Yeah.
God, I'm
Come
bad.
on.
I fucking that doesn't sound at all familiar. But
if you had to tell me and I'm a Bruce Willis fan. I think Bruce Willis is
he's
awesome.
the shit. I love him.
But if you had to tell me like when was his last movie, I'd be like, I assume he's just popping Viagra and shooting loads all over the place.
I don't know. What is his last fucking movie?
Good Day to Die Hard.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
Shit.
Wow. And who's the guy to his left? Is that Kevin Hart?
No.
I don't know.
Who is that dude?
I've never seen that guy in my life. That was just a guy that was on set.
Did anybody go to see that? What did it get on IMDb? 14% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Very good.
Hey, can you go to Box Office Mojo and look that up? Will you look it up on Box Office Mojo?
Box Office Mojo.
Oh no, there it was. Go back. Sorry, go back to the previous page.
What is Box Office Mojo?
It'll tell you like budget and it'll tell you what it made here in international.
Where's that at?
Look at that down there. It says
How do you know all this?
92 million box office. It made 304 million. Is that what it says?
Wow.
So it fucking killed. It
That's
did great.
Probably all overseas.
All foreign sales. Yeah, go to Box Office Mojo. It'll show you.
So maybe he's like one of the few guys left that can still do that.
Yeah.
You know, like Steven Seagal still sells a ton of movies overseas.
A fuckload.
They do those straight to video, straight to DVD
Straight to DVD.
things.
Dude, he makes tons of money. They internationally sell the movie before he even makes it. Do you know that?
You know, he's a Russian citizen now.
I know. I love it.
They
It's
gave
great.
him a passport.
That's hilarious. He's sticking around. There you go.
They gave him a Russian passport.
There's
They
a
said, "You
look at
got
that. There's
it,
the
bro."
proof. It made 62 million here. It made 237 overseas.
Wow.
International superstar, dude.
Get that paper.
Get that paper, Bruce.
Get that paper, Bruce. That's amazing.
What do you think he walked away with?
Oh,
He took
man.
10 up front to make it.
He probably got a ton of money. I don't know how it works.
Points. He's probably got 30 million out of that,
Bruce
maybe.
Willis balling out of control. Kids.
Bruce, hit us up, dude.
Yeah, he's good friends with Dom Irrera.
Is he?
Yeah,
Those two. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I would love to see them two in a diner having a conversation.
I know, right?
Just Bruce and Dom Herrera.
Dom Irrera is still doing the damn
Yeah,
thing.
dude, I fucking love him. He did a bunch of episodes on the Showtime show I did.
Did he?
man. Yeah, dude. It's fucking so awesome that they got like real comics, man.
The Showtime show looks great, man. I love how authentic everybody looks and
Thank you, man.
the hairstyles. And
They killed it.
And
did
they went
such a
with
fucking
real
good job.
comics.
Yeah.
Al Madrigal, you,
Me,
Jerron.
Eric Griffin, Jerron, fucking Dom. Earl Skakel does a few pop-ins on it. Oh my God, I'm drawing such a blank. There's so many other guys that like came in and left. Judy
at
fucking
that.
Gold. Yeah, that's us
Look
right
at
there.
that, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Melissa,
What was it?
Melissa
Did you guys
fucking Leo.
feel like an extreme amount of responsibility while you were doing this? Because you're doing a movie that's based on the most important comedy club, in my opinion, ever.
Yeah, TV show. But yeah.
Or are you doing a show?
Yeah, we did.
I mean, it's
The pressure was fucking. Yeah, man, I felt the pressure. The responsibility was fucking huge.
wow.
We premiered last night, and it'll air this Sunday. And Jim Carrey said some amazing things, man. Yeah, that's our cast photo. That one that you clicked. That one, yeah.
Did it feel weird to be on that? I mean, it must have been like.
I can tell you from the bottom of my honest heart, it was the most important thing I've done so far.
Wow.
Dude, I mean, we were paying homage to the world that we love and respect so much, and it was a big effort on Jim's part and his producing partner Michael Aguilar to like tell real stories. A lot of the stories that people will see if you watch the show, and I hope you do, come from Jim's real life. 2 dudes from Boston moved. They live in a fucking dude's closet in West Hollywood, and there used to be a guy that would jerk off and watch Jim change, and that's Jim. Jim put that story in the show, man. He wanted all these little great tidbits. There's a great moment about joke stealing in there and a fucking huge fist fight that breaks out that was real from Jim's personal life, about guys who used to come in from the fucking radio, from talk radio. In the in the morning, they'd come to the club at night, come to the store, steal shit. The next morning, comics would fucking hear it.
Yeah, that's a real common thing.
Yeah, man.
That was always going on. You know what else was going on? A big one was writers for sitcoms would come.
Yep, same shit.
And they would watch people do sets, and then they would wind up putting their bits in, like, even on fucking Seinfeld. One of Kevin James' signature bits got used on Seinfeld after he had a bunch of meetings, and then they came to see him perform. A bunch of, like, top writers came to see him perform at an NBC showcase. It was like when Kevin was getting a development deal. And they came down and watched him, and then, like, the next season, his muffin bit was on a Seinfeld episode. And he was like, what the fuck, man?
Well, nowadays, they're blatant. They tell you. Like, I tested for Saturday Night Live, and you sign a form that says these characters can be used after the audition.
Whoa.
And this is crazy. I'm not calling out anybody or saying anything, but there was a character that ended up on the show that Vanessa Bayer did fucking hilariously, that I did something similar in my audition. I was like, damn, that was really good.
Wait a minute. So you audition. You have a character you audition with.
Yeah, I did this character. I did this fake
They can steal
sportscaster.
that. They own that now.
Yeah,
you audition.
When you audition, you surrender the character. Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah, you sign a piece of paper, man.
That's crazy. They're not even giving you money, and they're stealing your ideas.
When you get that's the respect that SNL has earned in that community.
You don't have that respect.
It's crazy.
That's stealing. You're stealing.
Well, I signed the form, man.
Oh my god, dude, that's so awful.
I signed that sheet because you can almost taste it, you know?
But they're making you sign something saying we're going to steal from you.
Totally.
That's insane. We're going to steal from you. We're not going to pay you anything. We're going to use this thing. It might be a fucking Mike Myers movie someday.
And you have to say, yes, sir. May I have another?
Take it.
Take it.
Asshole. Take it.
I took it.
God, it's so crazy.
I took it, man. I took it. It was a wild process.
But the fact that some hugely successful business wouldn't want to compensate people for creating those ideas.
Fly you out to show yourself off.
Even if you just don't hire them, but you like that character, there should be like an established rate that you have to pay for things.
But I mean, and my whole thing is like, I'm not saying what they did was what I did, but there was just some similarities in the nuances of the character that I thought were either just, a confluence of great ideas, but it is hard. You think about that stuff. You're like, man, is that close to what I did? Because, like we said back in the day, like our show shows, people have been blatantly stealing in comedy for fucking ever. It's been like the beginning of time. And especially in the 70s, which I think is what we tried to show, was like they would steal these radio guys and fucking show up again and be like, hey. Yeah. Like it was like it didn't happen.
Come on, buddy.
Yeah, I told them that was one of your shit jokes from last night.
We always promote you whenever you're in town.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really lucky that I didn't grow up in a generation where you didn't get paid, in the sense of like, when I remember hearing stories of guys that would go on the road and then get fucked out of a check.
You can get fucked still.
Really?
People get fucked. Yeah, I've heard of people getting fucked. Joey Diaz had an experience about a year ago.
Well, Joey's the wrong guy to fuck with too.
Yeah, he called this guy up and started screaming at him and said, listen, you don't fucking pay me. He goes, I'm going to tell the whole world. He goes, I'm going to have all my friends tell the whole world, and no one's going to fucking work here anymore.
That's it.
Yeah, and he wound up getting paid. But it took him a while to get paid. There's a lot of club owners that are still doing coke.
Isn't that fucking insane?
I know a guy.
Still
I can't even be around
up.
him. Every time I'm around him, he's coked up. He's just living it like the old days. But here's the thing, man.
It never stopped.
It's been a part of it from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning of when I started doing stand-up, there was a lot of club owners that were on coke. And they just partied.
That was just normal.
Yeah, they partied. Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston. It never happened to me because I was never a coke guy, but they would offer you, if you wanted to get paid, in money or coke. I'm not kidding.
Imagine any other industry.
They would pay the comics in cocaine. Like Lenny Clark has told me about it in great detail.
And said, I'll just take the coke, I guess.
Some guys took the coke.
Can you do a half and half? Can you do like an 8-ball and
These guys were selling coke and running comedy clubs.
That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it was total organized crime shit. It was all organized crime. It was just like at a level where it was acceptable. It wasn't like they were killing people, but they were selling coke.
Yeah. But coke was so okay that it was like, nah, it's fucking.
Dude, no one's totally captured the crazy days of Boston. I was a kid back then, so I got to see it really from the outside. And it all started before I even started. About 4 years before I started, it was at its peak in like '84.
Yeah.
Those guys were maniacs.
Out of their minds.
Maniacs, hammered every night on. So like Mario Joyner was talking about it last night at the store.
Yeah.
Because he was hosting the show that we were doing. And Mario Joyner was like, they would just go up there and just get hammered and just be killing.
It's crushing.
Just killing.
Blacked out crushing.
Blacked out, drunk, hammered. It was a whole different groove, man.
Now you have to be on your P's and Q's, man. Now everyone's got to be real tight. I feel like the majority of people in comedy, the longer I've stayed in comedy, the more I see people sober now. I think a lot of people, it's just not, I feel like there's a lot more clean people working now than people who party.
I think there's a lot of people that realize the consequences of partying.
Yeah.
You can only stay on that fucking train for so long.
Goes
and if
away.
you look at the great ones that got derailed, whether it's Cat Williams, whether it's Kinnison, the great ones that have been derailed by cocaine, there's a ton of them that we know of. The cocaine one gets you.
It ends in a bad way.
You go bad. Your creativity goes away. You get paranoid. You get tired. Your act diminishes greatly. Like Kinnison, in my opinion, is the best example. He's the best example of a guy who at one point in time was just arguably the best ever for like 2 years.
Non-stop good.
Just a monster.
Yeah.
A thing like no one had seen before. Like there wasn't a Sam Kinison like an archetype.
Yeah.
It didn't exist.
No.
He was this fat guy, had been fucked over. I've been married twice. And he just would come out this giant fucking, this big energy, this thing, like a fucking human storm of comedy. But then it dropped off so radically. Like Ari was talking about the other night, like if you go and watch his stuff after the second special, it's like the second special is a big drop off. The real shit is his CD, or it wasn't even a CD. Warner Brothers wouldn't even make it a CD because it was so homophobic. They kept it a cassette, for real. His cassette, Louder Than Hell, and then his HBO special. And don't watch anything after that.
The HBO special is what I remember fucking seeing as like one of the things where I was like, this is insane. This is like a fucking madman who's hitting all the marks, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a
smart madman.
Yes, a genius, but he didn't miss. It was weird. It was like, yeah, it's like watching someone do something brilliantly in sports where you're like, everything worked perfectly. It was like all the stars were aligning for him to just chugging on this train of crushing. That was crazy shit to see, man.
And it was like during the Reagan era where people started to get a little buttoned down.
Yeah.
Like that was like we went from Carter to Reagan, right? So we go from this hippie peanut farmer from Georgia that couldn't get the hostages back from Iran to this movie star with a slick black hair and it's just like he was a part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a part of the whole country was fucking crazy at the time, and Kinnison came along, and he sort of embodied the frustrations that a lot of people felt.
The timing was perfect.
Perfect, but cocaine got him. Like he wasn't the same guy after that special. There's this giant drop off in the amount of focus he put on his work.
Yeah, well, because you become complacent, and you also like. I think the more money and fame you get, I think unless you have sense of groundedness and humility around you, like friends to be like, dude, you got to fucking change your game. You're fucking up. You're slipping. You're not producing anymore. You're not writing. You're not developing. You're not changing who you are as a comic. I think if you don't have that around you, if everyone around you is like, more fucking coke, dude, more bitches, bring them up. That's over.
Bitches? Yeah.
That's it.
No, I agree.
The train crashes, man.
I don't know Cat Williams, but I'll tell you what, to this day, like Pimp Chronicles, whatever that special is that he did, that is a goddamn genius
dude, it's
special.
amazing. It's amazing.
And apparently he likes to do a little cocaine every now and then. Woo! I don't know, but I just wish he would clean up. He's one of those guys. I look forward to when he puts out shit.
Yeah, because it's so fucking different.
Crazy. Just wild.
Yeah, he's wild, man.
He's real. I mean, it's just, he's a maniac. His fucking hair is all slicked back and sweating like a pig. He paused a special to change his clothes because he sweat so much.
That's genius. That's how you know you're putting in work.
He sweat through his clothes.
You're getting your money worth.
He went and did a change and came back out and kept crushing.
That's how you know he put in work.
Yeah, and that was like after he had gone through all those canceled shows and all the craziness, and like got on stage and yelled at a heckler for 5 minutes and then left, and everybody wanted their money back, and
They booed him and shit.
he still came back and crushed. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking good.
It's that goddamn cocaine, though. It gets them. It gets everybody. Everybody that we know that never made it. I mean, how many guys do you know that were funny that never made it that started doing coke?
A shitload of dudes.
A shitload.
Not just coke too, but just anything. I mean, as soon as they got into the party world, the hard party world of like, yeah, coke. It's got to be coke.
The coke one was big.
It just snags people,
God damn.
and then they disappear, man.
People who love coke must hate my podcast. They're like, he's always shitting on coke. You never even done coke, bro.
That's
You're
the thing
right.
about Rogan, dude. I like him, but he's like a bitch about coke, dog.
Let it go, bro. I do a little coke.
I do a little coke every day.
Apparently, that is the best way to get girls to have sex with you, though. Like, if you've got some cocaine, you got to be in the right place where people need cocaine.
They're not allowed to say no.
They just say yes. They just get crazy and they do coke. I guess it's like a super inhibition lowering thing, you know?
I think the idea is so fun that they're like, he can get coke. Like anybody can get weed, but it's like he can get coke.
You're waiting at the house for the guy to
Fuck
show
this
up.
guy.
The guy shows up in a Lamborghini with that fucking music playing in the background. There's no easy way out. Gets out of his car, puts the e-brake on. Yo, man, I got your package. You go out, you give him the money, you hug like a little bit too violently, like a little slap in the back hug. You know that slap the back hug?
Yeah.
Because you know that you're dealing in some seriously illegal things. That guy knows where you live, too.
How's your sister, man?
She's good, bro. Thanks for asking.
No shit.
Thanks for the coke, man.
No doubt. No
this
doubt.
Is good shit. Oh, yo, the best.
Yo, next time I got some really clean shits not stepped on, dog. So fucking hit me the fuck up, all right?
Next week I got a new shipment coming in. You got to be careful though. Don't OD because this shit that strong.
Don't OD, dude. I don't want that on my conscience.
Bitches be dropping their panties for this shit, bro.
You got any bitches in the house? No? All right, man. I got to get out of here.
Did you see that Mary Letourneau lady that fucked that kid in school and went to jail and then had a kid with him?
Oh, yeah.
They just broke
yeah.
up after 21 years together.
Can you believe it?
This kid finally woke up. It's like, this bitch is crazy. 21 years later.
That's all it took. 2 decades.
21 years this kid has been banging her.
I got to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, you're nuts. You fucked me when I was 12. What am I doing here?
Shit, I didn't realize this was super unhealthy. All right, yeah. Thanks. I got to go.
I think they have a kid together. Do they?
18-year-old daughter.
They have an 18-year-old kid.
daughter. Well, she's gonna fucking have everything in order, I'm sure.
She's gonna be the leader of a punk band.
Yeah.
She'll have half her head shaved. She'll be fucking wearing Doc Martens, stomping around. Mary Kay Letourneau's husband. We only split so I could sell pot.
No, what the fuck?
I love it. I love life. Life's beautiful. They're still happily together, and he merely filed for legal separation for May 9th because he believes it will make it easier for him to get a license to distribute cigaweed marijuana cigarettes.
She's a registered sex offender.
Oh.
Well, yeah, she has to be, right? Because he was underage.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I bet she's still a freak.
Totally, dude.
I bet she puts like alligator masks on.
So he's 55.
Sucks
She's
his dick.
55.
They're fine. They just got legally divorced, so they could.
Oh.
So
So
we.
they could just do this business.
She
Good
served
for them.
7 years in prison for that.
I'm happier for that. Did she really? That's
7 years
ridiculous.
is fucking wild.
That's so stupid. He was in 6th grade. What's 6th grade? Is that 12?
12 or 13.
Jesus.
What was that?
Is a little
13
young.
maybe.
That
He's
is
a
little
DJ
young.
in Washington. We should go see his shows. I was up in Seattle. I should have gone up there.
Yeah, it's probably awesome. It's probably a really good show. A firebomb goes off, fucking glitter in the air. It's crazy, bro. The show's
it's
amazing.
wild as shit.
He knows how to party.
What do you spin, man? Whatever I'm feeling, dog.
Kids love that music when they're on the drugs, though.
Dude, when you're on that Molly, you can't escape the beat.
How many times have you done ecstasy?
Ecstasy. I've done 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3.
MDMA, because 2 different things, right?
I think MDMA is ecstasy.
But the old ecstasy that we did in high school was definitely not what it is now.
No?
It was like whatever pill they crushed together of shit from the sink.
They lied to you.
Fuck yeah, that was bad shit.
Yeah, you got lied to in Chicago.
MDMA was MDMA. The first time I ever did it was in London, and about 10 years ago. That was the first time I ever even heard of it, because it wasn't Molly. No one said Molly, but this guy was like, Andrew, this guy who lived next door was like, dude, I've got this fucking MDMA, dude. You've got to try it. And I was like, all right, whatever the fuck is big, like Jamaican British dude. I was like, all right, dude, I'll try this shit. We went down by the beach and watched this concert. And I was like, dude, how do I get this all the time? And he was like, it's limited supply, but I've got more for you. We did that shit for like 4 days straight. I was like, this is the most fun I've ever had. And then I just stopped doing it for years and years and years. And I tried it again one more time, and poof, that was it. Never again.
I only did it once, but it was spectacular.
It's amazing.
The come down though was too strong. The come down was devastating. I was like, this
do you
is
get
horrible.
hard crashes when you do shrooms or no?
No.
You don't crash at all.
No. I mean, I feel weird.
Sometimes
but I'm always so not belittled, so obliterated by the experience. It's
Yeah.
always like I'm trying to process it. They're like, I'm barely aware of my physical state. I'm almost like eating just because I know I have to get calories
You're
in.
like, sustenance should be in my body at this
let
point.
me just figure out what the fuck just happened. It's always like, oh yeah, I knew, but I didn't know. Like I needed to see it, but I knew.
My crashes were, for some reason, they used to be fucking terrible. I used to come down off mushrooms and I would feel fucking miserable.
Was it always every time you did it?
Almost, man.
Did you ever think that like maybe one thing that does happen apparently is that sometimes people grow mushrooms, and oddly enough, the mushrooms have fungus that develops on them, and you can get sick from the fungus. And then sometimes people say they have like these almost like hangover like feelings because of that. I have read that.
I've never had a hangover. I mean, I just remember a lot of the crashes being like a fucking bummer. Like I was like, this is for some reason. Acid was the first time I ever did acid. I felt like even when I was off of it, it was great. It didn't fuck with me.
Yeah, I did acid for the first time last year. Like, was it last year? 6 months ago, something like that.
Did you like it?
Yeah, but it didn't crash me. I felt weird when it was over.
I just didn't want to. I did it and I didn't want to do it again. I remember doing it and being like, I just didn't want to do it again.
They say the thing about ecstasy though is if you take 5-HTP, you got to take that shit while you're on it because it helps rebuild your serotonin.
So it balances it out.
Yeah, because it's the building blocks for serotonin. Take that, and it'll help you boost yourself back up when you come through.
That's
because
pretty
once you come through, because it gives you this giant burst of serotonin, you feel so wonderful, but then it depletes.
Yeah, because you
takes a
drained it.
while before it spools back up. The 5-HTP apparently can help mitigate that.
That sounds like printer ink.
Yeah, it does.
I gotta get the 5-HTP, I guess. That's so funny. There's like a science to now staying fucking healthy while you're on drugs.
I know.
When I first started doing drugs, it was like, figure it out, dude. Might chew your lip off.
You gotta drink applesauce. All these home remedies. Like, you ever have menudo? Menudo is the Mexican.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I'm like. Nah, I thought it's a drug. No, you're talking about menudo. Yeah.
Menudo is the Mexican hangover cure. It's fucking great. You can get it. There's a legit Mexican joint down the street.
It's pork, right? It's pork based, isn't it?
It's a bunch of shit in there. They have tripe.
Chorizo and shit.
There's like stomach, like pieces of stomach in there. It's like this brown soup. There's chickpeas in it, or not brown. It's like a reddish.
It's like
brown.
a stew soup.
Yeah, like a stew. It's goddamn delicious. I love it. If
It'll
you can get it
knock
from a
anything out.
real place, like a real Mexican joint that has real menudo. Woo!
What's the fucking spot up the street should I go to?
I'll show you.
Yeah, you gotta show me.
I know exactly where it is, but I don't know the name of it.
I love
something taqueria. Oh, it's so good, dude. Everyone's watching Mexican TV. You go in there, everyone's speaking Spanish.
Great.
They look at you like, what the fuck? How'd you find this place?
What's up, puto?
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, fellas.
They barely speak English. Barely when you're ordering food.
That's the
barely.
best.
And they have to ask you like 2 or 3 times. And you have to explain to them. And then, you could try to like, you'll be embarrassed. Try to say it with a Spanish flair.
Menudo.
Yeah, but it's so good, man.
Esa taqueria.
They have horchata, those big horchata vats.
I love the vats, yeah. That's if you're gonna be a rich Mexican, you want a horchata vat at your house.
You don't think Gabriel Iglesias has one?
He's got
For
100 of
sure.
them.
He's got a giant one, like an oil barrel.
And he wears the helmet with 2 spouts every morning when he walks around with it.
A horchata helmet.
Excuse me, where's my horchata helmet? The fluff's got it.
He's like taking time off, that guy.
I mean, he's a machine. He's been doing it for so long. I think he probably needs a little bit of a break, right?
I think he said he just wants to do a bunch of shit now. Just gonna have some fun.
Just party.
Just do
Spend some
whatever the
money,
fuck he
have
wants
fun,
to do.
fuck off, buy a
That guy
boat.
made so much money.
He's got all of it.
People don't even realize how much money that dude made.
But that's why he's so good at what he does, because he keeps it on the low. He doesn't act like he has money. He doesn't come off that way.
Yeah.
He's real low to the ground with that stuff.
He was doing so many shows. He has the record number of shows that were sold out at the Ice House. He did like some crazy run where he was doing 3-4 shows a day.
It was something on the how many was it?
What'd you say, Jamie? He's back on the road?
Fucking
So he took the
back.
time off and jumped back in?
Fluffy is fucking back.
Oh, he's got a new special.
Oh shit! Look at all those dates, huh? He's hustling,
Damn.
dude.
Look at all those dates. Every day I'm hustling.
Fluffy fan life, dude. He's connected, bro. I'm sorry for what I said when I was hungry.
Damn, he's going to Norway and Sweden, Estonia, United Kingdom, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands. Holy shit, Finland, Vegas. Wow.
Finland,
He's
Sweden.
got a whole European leg of his tour. Holy
Where's
shit.
Roane Park, California? Where's Roane Park? Ronhard Park?
That's a good question. It's a place white people shouldn't go, probably.
No
I'm gonna
shit.
Say. I'm going to say that.
Sioux Falls.
Back on the road, baby.
On the
When is
road
your
again.
Showtime special? It's coming out very soon, right?
Tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Santino!
Tomorrow! June 2nd. We release tomorrow, baby.
What's it called?
Home field advantage.
Oh, Jesus. Did you do it in Chicago?
Did it back home at the Vic Theater, where I used
Oh,
to go watch
nice.
bands play when I was in high school. It was so fucking surreal, dude.
Wow. That
Yeah,
had to
home
be
field
weird.
advantage.
Look at you. Look handsome as
Looking,
fuck there.
looking cute, man.
Strong beard. Strong beard game.
So that's when I was shooting the show.
Oh, look at that.
Do you know what that is?
What?
Go back 2 pictures. Do you know what that's me paying tribute to somebody? Do you
Who?
recognize that picture?
No.
Or what I'm doing?
No.
Carol Burnett.
Oh, wow.
Did you say that?
I was
God,
gonna
fuck
say
yeah,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
Carol Burnett used to fucking touch her ear for her family.
Wow.
This is a trip without
For her family, she used to touch her ear?
her grandmother was like,
touch your ear for me.
well, her grandma was like, say hi to Nana on TV, and she's like, I can't do that.
Right.
She's like, they'll fucking fire me. And she's like, I promise I'll do something. I'll think of something that, like as a shout out to you. And she told her, like, a short time later, she was like, I'm going to touch my ear. You'll know I'm thinking of you. So she used to do that on TV all the time.
To appease some annoying family members.
Yeah, man, you gotta.
How about you realize, Nana, I got shit I'm doing up there, okay? I'm working. I'm goddamn Carol Burnett. I went
Carol
to a restaurant
fucking
recently.
Burnett.
A couple years ago, I was at a restaurant. She was there. It was weird. It's like she was just hanging out at this restaurant.
Really?
Eating dinner with some guy.
Just kicking it?
Yeah.
I think she's fucking
She was genius. That show, Carol
Brilliant.
Burnett show, was a great fucking
brilliant.
show.
Dude. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Everything about her was like so inventive of that fucking time period. I appreciate that kind of shit so much.
Well, you have to also have to realize how crazy it was that someone was willing to invest in a woman running a show like that.
Yep. It was unheard
Called
of.
it the Carol Burnett Show, and it was a sketch comedy show.
Unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, it was, fuck, man.
Look at there, she's
It's her
doing it.
tugging on her ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, man. Like, at the time,
So powerful, man.
how few women were like that at the time that had that kind of pull?
I mean, Lucy was the only one of
Yeah.
that prior era that had fucking massive influence on Hollywood.
Yeah.
Who could say anything and be like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And studios were like, uh-huh.
Her show was called I Love Lucy. I mean, Jesus.
It couldn't have been any other way. You know what I mean? For her, it was
Yeah.
like, she's like, I am a star. I'm going to be the star of the show. I want the fucking intro to be my face and then show Ricky Ricardo.
I don't even know Ricky Ricardo's name. How about that? Who's that Ricky Ricardo guy? What was his name?
His name is,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
that's so embarrassing. I do know who it is.
But everybody knows who Lucille Ball is. What's that dude's name?
I honestly thought it was Ricky Ricardo.
That's not his name, bro. That's the
Is it,
TV name.
Desi Arnaz.
Desi
Desi
Arnaz.
Arnaz. Okay, I
I'm
kind of
bad.
knew.
I'm so
knew
stupid.
that.
I knew
that. I knew that. I just forgot it.
You're allowed to forget shit like
But
that.
I wouldn't forget Lucille Ball.
Fuck no. Can't.
Good goddamn show back then. And that was back when a white girl was allowed to date a Cuban. Cubans were very white back then.
That was the only kind of cute. Yeah, it was the only
Yeah.
minority she could date on TV.
Yeah, like if it was like if she had a show called I Love Mexicans and she was dating a Mexican guy, not a Cuban guy.
Lo
Cubans
sé.
are like from Spain. It's like a Spaniard. It was thought of as a different thing.
Desi.
Desi Arnaz was a handsome bastard back then.
He was,
Do
man.
you think he ever banged Lucy? Shh. Oh, no disrespect.
They were married.
I'm saying, do you think he banged her though?
No.
They were married in real life and then they worked together on TV.
They were.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
The heyday.
Back in the day, man. You ever watch old TV shows just to get a glimpse of what
Dude,
it was like to be back in that era?
My fucking old man love Andy Griffith. This is their favorite fucking show in the history of television. My parents watch Andy Griffith every day.
Oh God,
They're obsessed. They
still
love
like
that
it.
shit. My dad loves that shit.
They long for nostalgia.
He just thinks that like that's such an iconic period of time when like comedy was pure and clean and the jokes were about life situations that were. There's a town drunk, and there's a town whore. You know what I mean? It's kind of like everything was such a setup.
But meanwhile, behind the scenes, they were just as freaky back then, if not more freaky.
Yeah, dude. Don Knotts used to stick the cop baton up his own ass right before they shot every day.
Are you sure?
Nope. Look at that picture. That's the baton going in his ass. That's why Andy's laughing.
Did you ever hear the Fatty Arbuckle story? Fatty Arbuckle was the big comedian from like the 1930s and the 1940s. And they had some girl that they were doing something with, and someone put a bottle inside of her, like in her vagina, and it broke, and she died.
Fuck yeah, she died.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
It was a bit? There was a bit where it was like, we're going to put a bottle in your pussy.
I don't think so. I think they were partying. I think they were going too hard. And Fatty Arbuckle was a huge star at the time.
Yeah.
And when that woman died, I don't know if he was convicted.
He got charged with manslaughter.
Yeah, but whether or not he was convicted? I don't know if he was convicted. But his career was over, and then it all dried up for him. I don't even know if he did it. You know, I mean, I'm not really sure.
He was probably around for the party.
Most likely, yeah. Hotel room, yeah.
She sneezed and the bottle broke. There he is.
Arbuckle was charged with manslaughter and endured not one, not two, but 3 trials for the alleged crime. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of what went on in each trial, but try to imagine the mismanagement and publicity akin to the O.J. Simpson trial, and you'll be getting close.
Well, then he should have got into it. I mean,
who knows? I don't know. Court TV. Yeah, there was no Court TV coverage, but there was a thriving tabloid press and no shortage of bombastic rhetoric. The assistant prosecutor for one of the trials, Milton O'Uren, became known for his florid, damning description of Arbuckle's lifestyle. To wit, a Babylonian feast was in progress there. The defendant had sumptuous quarters with his friends. Food was spread, wine and liquor were served, and this modern Belshazzar, I don't know what that means. Belshazzar sat upon his throne, surrounded by his lords and their ladies. There was music, feasting, singing, and dancing. How do you know? Were you there?
Yeah, he just said above he didn't want to fucking get into details, and then he explained a bunch of shit.
A modern Belshazzar,
however,
the last king of Babylonia, sundered amidst his decadence. This is some Game of Thrones-esque doomsday stuff right there. That is an interesting thing that a prosecutor could do back then. They could make that sort of like ridiculous description of the events that took place. Like, you weren't there.
Yeah,
like,
you
actually do not know. You actually do not know that this is what happened.
That's a big fish story, you know?
So did he wind up going to jail?
Looking at the rest of this.
You know how many people have stuck bottles up people's pussies and they didn't die and they went, whew. They read that story? And
I did it this morning. I did it.
Have you got like one of those Mexican Coke bottles, those real thick ones? Those are hard to break.
Those are hard to break. You'd have to fucking throw her against the wall or something.
Yeah. If she had a pussy that was so strong it could break one of those bottles, it could probably endure the cuts too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a dense...
It killed his career. Third trial, he just pretty much left Hollywood, or he was shunned by Hollywood and could no longer find work.
Isn't that crazy that he was acquitted, right?
He got off.
So he was acquitted. And it's still, I guess back then, that was it. It was it, son. And there was only one machine. You know, there was no internet back then.
Nope. He couldn't have had a YouTube page.
Could have made his own YouTube page today.
Did you see Fatty Arbuckle put out a special on CISO, man? It's pretty good.
It's on Epix, but they're going to sell it to Netflix in 5 years. How's it working for Showtime?
It was good, dude.
They've got good shows, man.
They did me right, I will say. Doing this special this Friday, and then the show comes out on Sunday. So it's like this weekend they're pairing it together. And they were great. They did great by me, man. I can't fucking say anything negative about that. The network is the shit right now. Billions is good for them. They still are kicking out Shameless. People fucking love Shameless still. Bloodline. I mean, there's a bunch of fucking really good shows.
Yeah.
Showtime's resurfaced as the premium cable network that it's wanted to be for a long time.
Yeah, I did a Netflix special in 2005, and in 2006, Showtime aired it. They've put together some good comedy specials.
Well, the Netflix and Showtime have some kind of deal, because a lot of the times your Showtime shit ends up on Netflix. They buy out the rights to that.
That would be smart. You know, if they did that, that would be smart.
Well, it's a good move.
it's a good move for everybody. You know, I mean, and I hope they also have it available, like it's easy to watch online.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where they make it with very few hurdles to be able to watch it online.
Yeah, because you got to give it to people, man, at some point.
Well, not only that, more people find out how good it is. More people will watch it. You know, whether it's your show or whether it's your stand-up.
Yeah.
You know, the more stuff that gets out there, the better it is, right?
Absolutely.
In this crazy day and age.
I hope yeah.
You've come along in the golden age of the Comedy Store. You know that, right?
It's fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
The boom.
This is the boom right now. We're going through it.
Is the bubble going to pop?
I don't think so, because there's so many funny comedians.
That's
like
the beauty.
guys like yourself. There's a lot of guys out there that are really good, and that are coming up that are really good. There's real good comedy going on right now.
I know, it's crazy. I think it's breeding really good comedy. I think because there's so much great competition and there's so many fucking good people, I think it's breeding people to be stronger and stronger. Sometimes I see fucking guys when I'm like, God damn, they're getting so strong.
Well, it's like you see really good stuff around you. You know, you show up one night and Chappelle goes up, and then Chris Rock goes on after him, and like you're seeing this stuff on a regular basis, and the quality of the comedy that you see is very high. And
so high.
Guys coming up, you know, when I first started the store in '94, it was a dead zone. It was just a terrible time. It was like right after the Kinnison boom had ended. Kinnison left there at like '86.
Yeah.
You know, and then by the time I came around, it was 8 years later. Kinnison was dead. And the place was weird.
Nobody wanted to be there.
It was weird. You know, it was weird there for a long time, man. Especially in terms of like talent coming up. You know, the talent coming up back then was just like, it was really poor.
Is this the best you've ever seen it since you started there?
100%. For me, yeah.
It's not even close for you.
Some
right?
guys say it was even better early on. They say it was even better like in the 80s. They say like before, like the Kinnison era, like Dom Herrera especially. He says that like there was a time where they were doing 3 shows in the main room, 2 shows in the OR, and they were just rotating. Just
fuck.
Yeah. But we're pretty close to that now.
I was just gonna say we're knocking on that door. That's not that far away.
2 shows in the main room all the time on the weekends.
Yep.
We do 2 shows in the OR all the time on the weekends. And sometimes I've done 4 sets in a night there, where I did 2 shows in the main room, 1 show in the belly room, and 1 show in the OR.
That's fucking awesome.
It's crazy.
The belly has developed itself into like a real fucking great room.
Oh, there's just so much creativity and fun going on there. That's what it is. But you know what, man? The improv's not bad right now, too. The improv's been really good, too. It's like comedy's just like experiencing a cool little bump.
Yeah, it's wild. I think people don't know how lucky they are in LA. It's wild, man. People live in LA and they're like, yeah, how many guys are on tonight? It's like, well, they're all going to be fucking amazing, so stick around because everyone you're going to see is going to be a fucking good comic.
There's even a couple that suck. Let's be honest.
Sure.
It's a few.
Sure. There's going to be a few.
There's a lot of comedy tourism, too. People are coming here from Ireland, Scotland, and
that's wild.
English. It's strange. Like, we flew over to watch the store. Like, what? Weird.
I hope our show helps that, too.
Fuck yeah, it'll help,
fucking
dude.
push the idea of the store being just another fucking iconic piece that people don't know about, you know? For people that don't give a shit about stand-up, when they see this, I think it'll be more like, oh, fuck, that's kind of cool. I'd like to go see more of that shit.
Now, are you touring? Are you going around the world? What are you doing?
Right now, because we're kind of waiting to hear what Showtime says, if we're going to do this again, then I have to fucking cancel a bunch of dates. But next week, I go to Austin, Cap City, then I go Chicago, Denver, Just for Laughs in Montreal, Raleigh. So I'm touring a little bit here into the summer, but if we have to shoot again, I have to cancel a bunch of different dates.
No kidding, huh?
Showtime waits till the first episode airs to release any official announcements.
So when does the first episode air?
Sunday, baby.
So if it does well on Sunday, they make a choice right then and there?
It takes about, a little bit of fucking manipulation time of them deciding what they want to do. But yeah, usually shortly after the first episode, they talk about what's going to happen.
So did you get a chance to watch it?
We did. We saw it last night. Last night was a premiere for like internal, for critics and shit. And I was fucking happy. Jim Carrey said some fucking amazing stuff. He's the executive producer of the show I don't know if I said that earlier, but he said some fucking really dope shit, man. He said how much this meant to him and how people don't really fucking know some of the true history of what that world was like to perform for no money, and that where there was one way in was Johnny Carson. It was like you get on Carson, it was like you were fucking on the moon, dude.
Wow.
And he talked about how a lot of critics, I guess, they got episodes a couple weeks ago, and he said a lot of you guys have been saying the word dark. It's not a comedy. He's like, we never sold it as a comedy. Never once did we promote it as a comedy. It's a fucking dramatic show about the world of comedy. Is that funny sometimes? Yeah, there's some really funny fucking moments on our show. But it's about the world that exists. It's about what it's like to be fucking 23 and hungry and poor as fuck and trying to get pussy and trying to get stage time and trying to figure out what you're doing, who's beating you, and it's just about fucking life, the life of a stand-up, the life of a hustling, hungry, angry, angsty, jealous fucking stand-up, because we all go through that shit.
Dude, I'm excited. I want to watch it right now.
It's fucking, dude, I really hope people enjoy it. I think the first episode is powerful as shit. We have some, dude, the pilot is insane. We have Robert Forrester, Kathy Moriarty from Raging Bull. Melissa Leo is the matriarch of the show. She plays Goldie, who runs our comedy club, who is a variation of Mitzi, but we, she wouldn't say that. We're on our own space. Ari Grainer, Michael Angarano. There's some fucking just bangers on the show. People that they act their mind out, that are just fucking really good, man. And I'm jealous. I sit along with those people, and I'm like, fuck me, these people are really good actors.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Melissa was the best worker. She won a fucking Academy Award, man. She won an Oscar for The Fighter. So it's like being around a fucking human that won an Oscar is crazy.
Wow.
It's wild because I never.
Kathy Moriarty was in Raging Bull, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
She was also on the Dice Clay show.
Yeah.
You ever what is it? What was the name of the show? Bless This House?
Bless His House, yeah.
That's right. She was Dice's wife.
Alfred fucking Molina, you know him? Alfred Molina, he's the shit. He's in it too. I mean, they pulled out a few big names, man.
Did you always want to act, or did you want to do stand-up, or did you want to do both?
Oh, when I went to school, to write, to do journalism in English, and I knew I wanted to write and perform, but I was a pussy about performing in school. So I did a few plays because I really wanted to be on stage, but I didn't like the idea of plays. I just wanted to get on stage to like get my comfort level up. and the
training wheels.
Yeah, dude. And one of the teachers pulled me aside one day, and she was like, you could actually be a good actor if you didn't just fuck around when you got on stage. Whoa. And I was like, well, I really want to fuck around on stage. She's like, well, then why don't you go do that for a living? And no shit, I was like, I'm gonna try. And I knew I wanted to do stand-up so bad. And when I moved to LA, I started in LA, and I was like, I'm either gonna sink or swim. And
when did you start? What year?
I moved here 2000 at the end of 2006. I lived on a guy's fucking lazy boy in Long Beach.
Wow.
And I used to drive up my buddy's truck every single fucking night. Yeah, I'd drop him off at the casino. He was a professional gambler. I'd drop him off at the casino, take his truck because I didn't have a car or money, do fucking mics, go to the store and, get intimidated, learn some lessons, and then fucking drive back home, pick him up, and we could get a burrito and do it all over again.
That's wild, man. So you started really coming to the store when I was gone.
Yeah.
It was like 2007.
Yeah, you weren't
right?
around. But your legacy was there. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, we all knew those that came before us and those that we talked about, but it was like, I was right there when you had kind of left that world a little bit. But it's wild because it was like, I hated the store when I first started, dude. 2006, 2007 was fucking awful. The people above us, none of the older comics were that fucking nice. The vibe was negative as shit. There wasn't a lot of crowds. The open mics were fucking brutal. They were miserable. They barely got watched. It's just so many negative things about that place at the time that we were going through it. And then it slowly kind of turned into this, what we've seen now, which is just fucking amazing.
What we see now is crazy. You pull into the parking lot, it's jammed. The hallways are jammed with people.
I mean, it makes me smile from fucking year to year.
It's weird, right? Isn't it weird? Like, it's a different thing.
It's weird.
I've been there since '94, man. It's never been like this. This is a totally different thing.
It's just, what it still does to me? This is the truth. You kind of get desensitized to shit, but seeing my name up on the board when it's a packed night, it still gets me like, I still get excited. I'm like, that's fucking cool. I'm a part of this moment in time in comedy at that fucking club. In my opinion, the club. It's just something else, man. There's something powerful as shit. That's sometimes I walk to the club because I live in the neighborhood and I like to walk instead of drive because it helps me get out of my brain. And every time I fucking walk up, and I see my name up there, there's like a fucking overwhelming feeling. The moment I see it, it's like, this is, soak it in a little bit because it's fucking doesn't last forever.
It's nice to have a place that's like that too. Like to just have one place that stands out as something that means more than just a comedy club. It's like it's an iconic thing.
Yeah.
There's something about that place. Like we're at the store.
It's bigger than comedy, man. It's like it's something big. It's something big. It's something fucking special, man.
Well, Paulie and I were talking about this, and I told him that your mom's one of the most important people ever in comedy.
Period.
like ever.
One of the most influential humans in the comedy world, in the world of what we know today as stand-up comedy. Yes,
Mitzi Shore is like, without her, like, stop and think about what other comedy club owner has had the kind of influence even remotely similar to what she's had.
I would know none of the above. I guess the only person that you could bring into that namesake, maybe Bud Friedman from the Improv.
Maybe, because he did Evening at the Improv and he had the monocle and everything like that, but I don't think in the hardcore sense it's even close.
Won't be the same.
No.
But yeah, what she did was shape and revolutionize the business that you know today.
She knew how to do it too. Leave it up to the comedians. Leave them alone. And then also give them hard spots.
Make them work for it.
Make them work for it.
That's the best part about that club.
You think someone's funny? Good. Put them on after Dice, or put them on after, whoever the fuck it was at the time that was killing.
See how funny they are after Richard Pryor.
Exactly. Yeah, see how funny they are after someone just destroys. You just got to go up to this wasteland of the audience.
That's such a testament about that club, dude.
It's what they've always done. Dude, I
feel
ate
it.
Plates of shit in that place. There's just no way around it. Following everybody, following anybody's. I followed Pryor for 5 weeks.
Fuck.
When Pryor was in a wheelchair, so they would have to carry him to the stage. It was dark.
It'd be really funny if you had to go on, you had to carry him off and then do your set. They were like,
started from the crowd.
Carry the legend.
Yeah, it was. But that philosophy that she had, that make you work for it, make you sink or swim.
Yeah,
it's so important, because if people that we know to this day that are scared to have tough spots, and we know those people
totally.
They see somebody like Joey Diaz in the lineup, and they're like, "I'm gonna go for a drive. I'll be back in a little bit." They'll let somebody else take their spot, and they come in and they check. Is he up? Oh, I missed my spot. Am I on next?
I thought you were just here. Where'd you go?
Yeah, you hid from Joey Diaz, motherfucker.
The only way to go up after Joey Diaz is to just ride the lightning.
Yeah, you got to ride the wave. You have to enjoy him. You have to have fun.
I fucking love watching him.
Yeah,
man.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the problem with comics when it comes to those sort of situations is you see someone killing, and for some reason you think that's taking away from your ability to be funny. It's a weird.
It's the opposite.
Yes.
They want you to win with someone. Let them know that you're there to win again, instead of, well, I can't fucking
follow that.
I'm not going to talk about what Joey's talking about.
This is going to be disappointing. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you set yourself up.
Yeah. It's just
fucking.
You also should be going up laughing. Like, it should be fun. Something happens to some comedians along the line where they stop being fans of comedy. Like, why did you get into this in the first place? Didn't you like watching it?
Right.
It wasn't. You're going to stop watching it now that you're a pro? That's crazy.
It wasn't because of all the billions of dollars that you thought you were going to make. You know what I mean? Nobody got in and was like, dude, I can't wait to make so much fucking bank on this shit.
Yeah, no one's getting into comedy for that. Although it can be done. You know, if you're like Kevin Hart, it can be done. But that's not why you get into it. But it's like what we were talking about earlier. It's like people that are trying to get the limelight.
Yeah.
It's that weird, depressing thing. Versus someone who's just like, I'm just trying to do my best shit. Just trying to put out my best stand-up product.
I just want to pump out what I'm proud of.
Just hammer that bitch together.
Just want to fucking punch him in the fucking head.
Does the Showtime special have your rock bit, the bit on the rock?
It's on Showtime right now on the South by Southwest tour that I did. They do the fucking behind the scenes of South by Southwest, and I did a bit at the showcase for South by Southwest, and I put it up on there.
Is it in your Showtime special, though?
It's not, dude. It's just
not?
On that.
How is that possible?
Because I did that first, and Showtime put that up, and I...
So what?
I know. I should have done it again.
God.
I know.
Oh, that bit's so good.
I should have done it again.
Motherfucker.
I thought of you, actually. I thought of you. I was like, God, I should have done that, Joe. I bet you fucking Joe would have said I should have done it again.
Dude, I've told so many people about that bit. That's a funny bit,
But the beauty is it links to it, so it's on Showtime, so they can watch my other set. And all that stuff, that's another 15 minutes that I didn't put in my special that I did at South by.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that I really
like.
like.
Just get that shit on YouTube. Somebody wink, wink.
Wink,
somebody
wink, wink.
knows how to strip things
Somebody
down,
knows
move
how to
things
do that.
around.
Is that it?
The Rock?
No.
What is that? Say No More? Is
That's
that
from
another
my
CD?
first album. That's my old album.
When did you put out an album? What year was this?
It was 2 years ago. That was my first album that I put out.
Say No More, Andrew Santino.
Say No More. Yeah,
All right,
that's
man.
not it.
Let's bring this bitch home. So
Yeah, baby.
So the show starts Sunday. That's when it first airs.
I'm Dying Up Here starts Sunday on Showtime.
And if you're a fan of comedy, we definitely want that to keep going. So let's try to support that thing. And
Yes,
Andrew
thank you.
Santino's comedy special.
called Home Field Advantage. Comes out this Friday. Tomorrow, baby.
Dude, you're one of my favorite up-and-coming guys. I think you're a fucking hilariously talented guy.
Thank you,
so,
man.
Means a lot.
Coming from you, that means a ton, dude. Thank you, brother.
My man. All right, folks, we'll be back tomorrow with Brett Weinstein. And Brett Weinstein is that college professor that is being kicked out of school because he's been forced out of school because they actually closed Evergreen College down today because of threats. The students have taken over the college, and he was forced out because he wasn't willing to participate in a white stay-home day. They wanted all white people. All people of white privilege to stay home. And he was like, that's ridiculous.
That is fucking
I'm not going to
ridiculous.
not teach because I'm white. And this guy's like a super progressive guy, too, which is really crazy. They're attacking him. They're screaming in the hallways, hey, hey, ho, ho, this racist teacher has got to go. They're calling him racist. We are almost at the breaking point of political correctness. We're going to talk to Brett Weinstein tomorrow about that. And he's also a brilliant professor with a lot of other important stuff to talk about. So we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Dude, that was awesome.